Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Monday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Action Jackson versus the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert. You got John, you got Jim, you got obviously the Harbaugh family. I can't wait to be able to see what we get here in this matchup on Monday night. Let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in about 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to have kickoff. Let's go, baby. And on the thumb on the left, we have our guy, Lamar Action Jackson on Monday night. He is phenomenal, especially after a loss as well. And on the right, maybe the most improved quarterback this season under the tutelage of an actual good coach. When they had Anthony Lynn, not a good coach. When they had Staley, not a good coach. But now you ended up getting one of the best in the world, not only on the college side for Michigan, but now with the Chargers in year number one, it look like they're going to end up making a wild card in year number one with Harbaugh. We got a Harbaugh versus Harbaugh matchup, and I can't wait to see what we get here tonight. Shout out to John. Shout out to Jim. Can't wait to see what we get here tonight. Let's go, baby. Let them know. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Appreciate you for helping out. Daniel in the building. What's good? Megan getting the dono train started. Let's go. He said, let's go, my other bird team. Wearing the Lamar with pride. $20 holla. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, let's go. We're at 20, 80 to go. What do you want to do for photos? We got about 13 minutes until kickoff, so I can dedicate all of that time to you as we're getting ready for kickoff. Let me know what you want. Regulars, anything specific for Kraken or Seahawks or USC, or any of your favorites, let me know, and I got you. Appreciate the support, as usual, for me and Paisley Pup. Let's go. I'm ready. This should be a good one. And again, I think most, individuals across the globe are going to be picking Baltimore to win. But again, the Chargers defense is better than Baltimore. So if they can find a way to slow Lamar down and slow Derrick Henry down, I do think the Chargers will have a chance to win this game. It's not like Herbert is throwing for, 30, 40 touchdowns. He has less than 20, but he only has like one pick during the whole year. And again, he has changed kind of the way that he plays. Harbaugh is a fantastic coach that has brought the best out of Justin Herbert. 13 touchdowns, one pick. That's the best ratio in the NFL. And we know the Ravens secondary and the Ravens defense is one of the worst in the NFL. So something's got to give. They obviously have a few running backs of their own on the Chargers, right, with J.K. Dobbins, as well as Gus the Bus. So we'll see kind of how it ends up flowing here tonight. And we'll see Vlad McConkey and some of the other individuals can step up. But hopefully we get a game where it ends up being entertaining. We'll see a little bit of defense, we assume, from the Chargers, maybe not so much from Baltimore, but hopefully we end up getting like a 24-20 or 27-23 kind of game, and we get entertained not only in the first half, but also in the second half. Let's go, baby. All right, I got you. Appreciate you. I'm going to just start doing some random right here for you. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Do a couple photos of each thing. Appreciate you. Hope your day is going well. And it's always good to get off to a fast start with the stream. We're at 20, 80 to go. I'll be throwing up photos here. And until we get into kickoff probably. So let's go, baby. Appreciate you. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. All right, let me make some more room here. Chief in the building. What's good? How are you, brother? Yeah, hopefully it ends up being a high-scoring game, but I don't know, if the Ravens are going to be able to, put up 30, 40 points against this really good Charger defense. Again, we would assume that the Chargers will be able to score points on the Ravens D, but if the Ravens D kind of plays a little bit better than expected and the Charger offense isn't as good as expected, then it could end up being, a little bit closer than we think. And that would favor Baltimore of winning on the road. This is obviously probably a must-win game for Baltimore rather than the Chargers. But again, I see both of these teams making the playoffs. So, all right, sounds good. Getting a few photos synced up here for our first dono on the dono train. Let me get a couple of these loaded up here. Appreciate you and all the support. We're at 20, 80 to go to hit the initial goal. Sprinkling a little debt left for you as well. Let me scroll through the photos one more time, make a little bit more room, and then I can squeeze in maybe a few more before kickoff here. Appreciate you very much for all the love and support that you have for me, Paisley, and the channel. Should be a good one. And again, a lot on the line, not only for just pride, obviously with the Harbaugh family rivalry. And we know both coaches are fantastic. John has been good for quite some time and obviously has been, pretty consistent, kind of like a Mike Tomlin in that division for the Steelers. But with Jim, kind of like a Pete Carroll, this guy is built a little bit different. He's a little bit more intense than his brother John. John, I feel, shows his intensity here and there, but Jim is intense every day, every single minute of the day, and you get the most out of your players, and you can kind of feel that anytime he ends up coaching a team, they take on his personality. Whether that be, when he was at Stanford with Andrew Luck, whether that be with the Niners and Colin Kaepernick, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, or if he ended up going to Michigan and winning the Natty last year, and then fresh off a Natty, coming in and trying to change the culture for the Chargers. And the Charger culture has been terrible. Let's be honest. They had, Marty at coach when they went 14-2 and then they fired him, Marty Schottenheimer. But, they've had Sean Merriman, they've had Antonio Gates, they've had Phillip Rivers, they've had LaDainian Tomlinson, but they've never been able to put it together. With a good offense and a good defense. It was either one or the other, either a really good offense and an OKD or a really good defense, but not so much on the offense. Now they ended up getting rid of Keenan Allen, their number one receiver, Mike Williams, their number two receiver, and Austin Eckler, their number one running back, addition by subtraction. And you would think, okay, Herbert's got no weapons. There's no way they're going to make the playoffs or be good. But it shows you, if you get a coach that understands how to coach properly, how to motivate properly, then you're going to end up getting the results that you're getting here today. And it's nice to be able to see Herbert relevant. And also it's nice to be able to see that Chargers defense, not just good on paper, but they actually are good in real life. Because again, we've seen Joey Bosa, we've seen Khalil Mack, we've seen Derwin James, we've seen Asante Samuel Jr., but we've also seen these guys go out there and fail or get hurt, right? It's like they almost are cursed. But I think Harbaugh, it might be that missing piece to break the curse off of the Chargers where they can actually start making the playoffs on a regular basis, even if it's a wild card. Can't wait to be able to see what we get here tonight. And obviously, when you have Lamar, you have Derrick Henry, and you have Zay, you're going to be in almost every single game that you play, unless you play the Steelers or the Chiefs. It seems like that's kind of the bugaboo, right? The Steelers and the Chiefs. And what do they have in common? Great defense. This Charger team has a good defense as well. Offense, is a little shaky, kind of like the Chiefs and the Steelers. They may be able to do just enough because we know that Ravens secondary is not good. We saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown light them up just a few weeks ago. I'm very interested to see how this Harbaugh and Harbaugh matchup is going to go. Let's go, baby. We squeeze in a few photos of Hack for you right before we get going here. Got to make some more room. But we got the time. What's the word on Hack? What is he doing? Is he doing any like broadcasting stuff? Is he in the hunt for a job? Is he just taking time off and spending time with family? Have you heard anything about his whereabouts or what maybe the next job could be for him in the future? Any new news on him? I haven't heard anything, but I figured you deep dive on the Kraken a little bit more than I do, so maybe you would know something about our former coach there. And we just need to be able to get above 500, baby. All right, appreciate you very, very much. Let's get these photos moved so I can create some more room here. And I'm ready for Monday night. And I did some deep diving, looking up to see if there's any restaurants or stores that are selling, like go-to meals, to-go meals for Thanksgiving. It's like I don't need to be able to get like a catering. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have anyone drop off a plate, but the only thing that I was really able to find is like a Jersey Mike's type of place where they have like a Thanksgiving like sub sandwich where they actually have the turkey and the stuffing and all that like in a sandwich. That isn't really necessarily what I want, but it's nice to know that might be an option, but they're not open on Thanksgiving. So if I go that option, I would have to get it the night before, and it's probably not going to taste the same, the next day, but at least it gives me an option. And then it sounds like there's a couple other places, but I'm not sure if they do delivery. Sounds like you can kind of get it to pick up like a meal for one or a meal for two, or a meal for four, like kind of pre-made from some of these locations. But, I don't really want to be spending an arm and a leg either. I just want a couple pieces of turkey, couple rolls, mashed potatoes and gravy, some stuffing, and then maybe a piece of pie, like a piece of apple pie. I think I would prefer apple over pumpkin, but if that's all they had, just something basic, just something that I could have while I'm grinding on the channel on Thanksgiving. Obviously my dad and stepmom aren't really feeling too well, so they're being precautionary. So I'm not going to get to celebrate Thanksgiving until not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, which is a little unfortunate too, because that's when the Chiefs and the Chargers play. But I got to make sure I, see the family and get the food, and that's what is entail. But I'm hoping that my friend Justin on his way back from visiting relatives could drop me off a plate. Or I might end up just making like a community post on my Facebook and see if I got someone that's close to me, where I live, that can maybe drop off a plate for me on Thanksgiving. So, and normally it's not that big of a deal, but Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and I just hate not being able to see the family and then the friends, and then obviously the football and the food are a big part of it too. So, no worries. How are you? We're at 80 to go. Taking time out. Oh, okay. Good for him. Family time is always the best. Yeah, I wouldn't go pumpkin over apple. No way. I think pumpkin is like a festive, but again, that would definitely be the last one that I would go to. I think that like if it's available, I'll take a slice, but it's not like going to be the first one that I choose if there's other options. If there's cherry, if there's apple, hell, even if there's pecan pie, I think I would actually even go that route. And I don't mind like, a piece, but it's like, I'm not going to sit there and eat a whole pumpkin pie by myself. I mean, I think it tastes okay, but it's definitely not as good as the others. I think the others have a little bit more flavor, but I don't mind a good piece of pumpkin pie, but definitely not my favorite. All right, baby, here we go, Chargers. J. Herb, 13 touchdowns and 1 pick. Let's get it, baby. But again, everyone's got favorites on what they like and what they don't like, right? But I like Flavor Town, so I mean, hell, any kind of pie, I'll take it. And if it's cake, give me cheesecake if we're going that route. But that's not really Thanksgiving. All right, audible at the line for Herbert here. First down and 10. Handoff. Right up the gut. And good defense there by the Ravens. Second down and 10 on the Chargers 30. Second down and 10. Shotgun set for Herbert. Play action fake. Good protection. Oh, baby. Ladd McConkey, baby. Mr. Georgia Bulldog himself. Don't be surprised if he gets in the end zone once or twice today. First down. Bolts. Move the chains. Yeah, Kraken and Ducks on in about an hour and 45 minutes. And hopefully we can get the dub on them. It's definitely a winnable matchup. But as you sent me the injury report of some of our guys, not good to see some of the main pieces having surgery or going to be out for a while. Handoff up the gut. Gus the Bus, the former Raven. 7 yards. Second down and 10 on that Charger 30. Let's go. Second down and 3. 7-yard game. I mean, Herbert should be able to put up. I mean, I don't expect Herbert to put up like, Burrow, Jamar Chase, kind of numbers, against them. But there should be good opportunities, to be able to get into the 20s and possibly the 30s against the Ravens. I mean, the defense is taking a big step back. And you obviously know that not only with Roquan Smith on the screen here being out, there should be a lot of wiggle room. Herbert might even be able to rush for a touchdown, today as well. Yeah, Ebbs out is terrible. Terrible news. First down and 10. Man in motion. Fake jet sweep. Herbert surveying. Run, baby, run. There you go. And you can slide when you need to, Herbert. We don't need you to, try to be someone that you're not. We don't need you to get hurt. But so efficient, as a quarterback. And, I was always praying one day, that Herbert would actually get a coach that was solid to, get him the recognition that he deserves as a top 10 quarterback. But he's got the skill set to be as good as a top 5. But again, he's only going to go as far as Harbaugh can take him. And again, they need a little bit better supporting cast. But with the numbers that he's been putting up with minimal talent on the offense this year, no Keenan Allen, right? No Eckler, no Mike Williams. I mean, he's done a pretty good job. Of course, you'd like to see those touchdowns be a little bit higher. But just the simple fact that he's at 13 touchdowns, 1 pick, what do Michigan teams do? What do the 49ers do under Harbaugh? They run the ball a lot, right? And they play great defense. And that's the same exact strategy, that he put in. You don't need Herbert to try to throw 50 passes a game where he ends up having 2 or 3 picks a game because he's throwing too much. And finally, you got the right type of coach to understand to use Justin to his strengths. Finally. First down and 10. Bolts. Play action fake. Herbert wide open in between that zone, baby. Maybe we'll even get to 30 against this Raven defense. First down and goal. Move the chains. Let's go. I don't really care who wins in this particular matchup. I just want it to be a good game. You know, both teams got 7 wins. It seems like both teams are going to make the playoffs. You know, the Ravens probably have a better chance of winning the division than obviously the Chargers catching up to the Chiefs record. And you might have the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs in the playoffs this year. Who would have thought, right? Herbert with the new coach in year number 1 with Harbaugh, and Bo Nix looking like he might win Offensive Rookie of the Year with Sean Payton in Denver. And they just released Dulcich, the tight end from UCLA, which was a little bit of a surprise. J.K. Dobbins. Second and goal. Shotgun set. Herbert. Looking. Good protection up front. Run, dive. Yes. There we go. Fly away, baby. Jay Herbert, what did I say just about a minute ago? I said, don't be surprised if Justin Herbert runs it in for a touchdown himself. Boom shakalaka. My ESP is correct. Bang. 6-0 Bolts. Just like when we talked about Saquon Barkley doing something special, even before those big, long runs. And lo and behold, the sports gods love to listen. And it's kind of crazy, you know, when you can say something, you kind of evaluate the tape on what you're seeing, and then all of a sudden you get to see that magic come to life. Awesome. Extra point for the Chargers. Snap. Kick is up. And it's good. 7-0 Chargers. Here we go. I mean, well, if you can get past the USC-Oregon Ducks thing, you know, the rivalry, you know, it really just comes down to, you know, these quarterbacks that are coming in and, you know, who's going to have success. And, you know, in the first month, you know, Nix wasn't good, but since then, he has been the best quarterback out of the rookies, you know, at least at this point. So, nice job, J. Herb. You know, and again, this kind of felt like a game where you could rush one in, and, you know, he might even rush another one in before the game is up, but I assume that one will be enough, and then they'll try to get J.K. Dobbins and Gus the Bus in with like one, and then obviously you're going to get at least one receiving touchdown, and, you know, the most likely target will be Ladd McConkey, but we'll see. They got plenty of weapons to go to. Good start for the Chargers, not so much for the Raven defense, but we'll see if Lamar can answer back with the Raven offense. And the Ravens don't really have, you know, problems with too many teams unless they have an elite defense. That's why they struggle against the Chargers and the Steelers every single year, but not really anybody else. And the Chargers, I would say that they have a similar defense to the Steelers and Chiefs. So we'll find out, you know, how it's going to go here very quickly. If the Chargers force a 3-and-out, it might be a very long day, you know, for the Ravens. You know, I still think they're going to get points here and there, you know, and we'll see if Justin Tucker can make some field goals. Field goal kicking has been at an all-time low for a lot of the GOATs that are normally one of the best. And we'll see on how the flow of the game goes, but hopefully it ends up being pretty even and entertaining. 7-0 Chargers. Finley in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. All right, we need 2 more likes to be able to get to 10. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button, thank you to those people that just did. Now we're at 10. We need 10 more to hit the goal. I see Kendrick is just putting out more work and more work and more work. I love it. Squabble Up music video just came out this morning. And I assume that we're going to get music videos to not every song on the album, but I would assume there'll be at least 3 more music videos that he'll come out with, you know, for his new album. Very, very good. I saw that stat come up about like a week ago once Tucker started missing those field goals. And again, I ended up watching a good chunk, you know, of the Panthers. guys are looking better, and again, sometimes with quarterbacks, quarterbacks can get sensitive, and sometimes things can hurt, based on your teammates, the coaches, the media, and everyone just shitting on you. And the problem is more than just Bryce, as we know, the owner, right, the GM, the coaches, the coordinators. It's not just a Bryce Young problem. It's a team problem, an organization problem, a culture problem. But with all that being said, it looks like things are kind of on the up and up. I'm not saying that things are fixed whatsoever, but you definitely have been able to see some flashes of Bryce looking a little bit more comfortable at quarterback, and I'm happy for him. It's tough enough, losing almost every week. It's nice to be able to get some, good quality plays and first downs and touchdowns. Lamar with a little bit of the keeper. And again, if Lamar is going to be dancing around out there, that means less carries for Derrick Henry, and that falls into the hands of the Chargers perfectly. For the Ravens to be able to win, they can't have Lamar dancing around there and trying to rush for 20 times a game. You're not the star running back. You're not Saquon Barkley. Now, you do have the ability to run when they need you to, but again, there's a lot of 50-50 plays where if he decides to run it and not go through his weapons, that's going to be a disadvantage for the Raven offense. And we know their defense can't stop a nosebleed. They need Lamar to be efficient here on the road against one of the best defenses that they've played, just like the Chiefs and the Steelers, and they typically can't beat those teams. So we'll find out today if they have the right formula. They got to get the ball to Zay early and often. You got to go to Derrick Henry early and often. Even if some of the looks end up only being for 2 or 3 yard gains, you got to make sure you're, chipping away. And then eventually the big run will happen, or the big play action over the top will happen. But again, if Lamar is going to be, kind of doing it on his own, that definitely doesn't play into the Ravens' hands. That's going to play into the Charger defensive hands. But we'll see and evaluate as this game goes. First down and 10, play action fake. Lamar, flick of the wrist. First down, Ravens. Nelson Aguilar. Move the chains, but there's a flag on the play. That might be holding on the Raven O-line. Personal foul. Ooh. Oh, my. Leg whip by Ricard. Awesome. I know he'll love that. Yeah, absolutely, man. And plus, I don't want to see you guys struggle. I don't like seeing anyone sad and struggling with their fan base, and their team. It just, it's hard enough. When you already know the team is one of the bottom 5 teams, you just want to be able to see growth and see them get a little bit better. And I hope for the day that we can have the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Bucks all being respectable. Obviously, there's going to be teams that will be most likely to win the division, but I still want to see the 3rd and 4th place teams, regardless if that ends up being Tampa or not. I want to see everyone grow and get better. And, hopefully, you guys can take the next step next year. We're at 20, 80 to go. Second down and 22 after that leg whip. Trips right. Man in motion, shotgun set. They bring 4, pressure, little dump down to Mark Andrews, short game. And Lamar is such a unique athlete. He's completely different than Josh Allen. He's completely different than Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow or Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. The way that he releases the football, he makes it look maybe the most effortless out of any quarterback. Just that little flick of the wrist, and then it's 50 yards downfield. And then he's got that agility and that athleticism that you don't see out of any other quarterback. Maybe, a similar athleticism to a Saquon Barkley, where you see him going left and right, stopping on a dime, speeding it back up again, changing direction like a wizard. And you don't really see that many people that have the speed and the skill set to do what those guys do at those positions. Throw out of bounds, overthrown. And again, that Charger defense is one of the best in the NFL. If this is not going to be easy for Lamar, 4th down and 20, and here comes the punt team. And everyone picked Baltimore to win the game, and I think that's kind of silly. all of the quote unquote experts, especially when now if the Charger defense was shitty, then I would say yes, Baltimore 100%. But since the Charger defense is one of the best, and the Chargers are at home, it's not played in Baltimore, I definitely think the Chargers can win this game. I mean, if you just have to go toe-to-toe with Lamar, I mean, who's going to have a harder time scoring points, Lamar or Herbert? It's like you can say that Lamar is the better quarterback over Herbert if that's your preference, but again, one team's got a defense and the other doesn't. So, and that's what makes me a little bit nervous about teams like Buffalo, as well as like Baltimore. It's like Pittsburgh got a defense, even though the offense with Russ is hit or miss, right? The Chargers, they got a defense, right? And then the offense might be hit or miss with Herbert, depending on who they play. The Chiefs, right? They got a defense. But Mahomes is kind of hit or miss, But it's like I think I kind of trust Buffalo's defense more than Baltimore's. So, like, if it comes down to it, it just can't be the Lamar Jackson show. And if you put too much pressure on yourself to carry the whole team, that's going to end up backfiring. But hopefully we can get some points out of the Ravens at some point in this game. 7-0, Colts. So you got offense, right? You got defense, and then you got special teams. So special teams obviously is going to be, like kick return, punt return, when they end up punting the football, when you end up kicking field goals. So it's going to be everything other than the standard offense and defense. When your team punts, that's special teams. When a team scores off a punt return, that's special teams. When a kicker goes for a 50-yard field goal, that's special teams. So again, every facet of the game matters. And again, if you have a good punter and you have a good kicker, that is a huge advantage over other teams, as well as if you have a good kick returner or punt returner. And obviously they kind of changed the rules with the kickoff, at the beginning of the game and when they do the kickoffs, because they obviously don't want CTE and guys running into each other. But you can still get, touchdowns more from the punts rather than the kickoffs. It's going to be pretty rare nowadays with the rule change, with them, having to scale their guys back, waiting for the guy to catch the ball, and then letting the defense release and then trying to tackle. So you're not going to be able to see too much kick return touchdowns like you did in the past from the rule change, but you will see punt returns for touchdowns once in a while. Not every game, here and there, but that's pretty much the easiest way to explain what special teams is and what special teams does. So. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because we were just talking about it on stream, that I kind of felt like prior to those 70 and 72-yard touchdowns, like it kind of felt like, Saquon was, going to separate himself from Derrick Henry. Because at the beginning of the year, it was him neck and neck with Derrick Henry as being the best. And I think that last night, that was like the breakout game, kind of like a Genti, trying to catch up to Barry Sanders and those big numbers. And it kind of feels like he's the biggest X factor in the NFL. And if they're going to beat the Lions in the NFC Championship game, Herbert, getting away from the sack lunch and not away from the second guy. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But again, normally MVPs are quarterbacks, right? But this could be the year that you could give the MVP to Saquon and no one would bitch or moan. Like, he's definitely deserving. And the better that Saquon plays, the better chances the Eagles have to make it to the Super Bowl, and let alone make it to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship and possibly win it. But if Saquon doesn't play well, the Eagles have 0% chance. Like zero. You're not going to beat the Lions if Saquon doesn't have a big game. And if you somehow were able to have a monster game out of Saquon, 3 touchdowns, 120 yards, and you beat the Lions in the NFC Championship by 3, can you repeat that performance in the Super Bowl against a team like the Chiefs or the Bills? I don't know. So what I do know is Saquon is an absolute freak, and it's kind of cool to be able to see like magic happen right in front of your very eyes, especially when we talk about it and then you verbally say it, and then all of a sudden a couple plays later it fucking happens. Just like with that Justin Herbert rushing touchdown. And it's not like Herbert rushes for touchdowns every game. He fucking doesn't. He has 13 touchdowns in the air, 1 interception, not a lot on the ground. And then just so happens, it's like sometimes I just get a gut feeling on things. And if you say it out loud, and, sometimes it ends up happening. And it did. 7-0 Chargers. Shotgun set. Herbert, pressure. Wow. How did he thread that needle? First down, Chargers. Move the chains. That's awesome. Always to get good representation, of anyone that's Australian and in the business. Wow, Lad McConkey, Jay Herb. I mean, like Lad McConkey is the new Keenan Allen. That's going to be the number one, option for him. And then obviously you still got a few other receivers that are on the team that were leftovers from the past regime. But again, the perfect coach to be able to coach Herbert in this Charger team. And I think Jim is a little bit better than John. Like if I was a player, who would I want my coach to be? And I would definitely be leaning more towards Jim than John. John is a little bit too reserved for me. Jim is intense, but with purpose. And I think that, certain players need that intensity, and the screaming and the yelling. But if it's in a controlled environment, it just can't be bitching and yelling and screaming and, and having this like tension. It's like if he says something, you have to listen and respect him because he has a track record of, winning championships, right? And I feel like not every certain coach can be like a yeller and intense and get the results. Some guys are going to be a little bit more reserved and they're going to be more of a player's coach and they can get the results as well. It just comes down to, do the players respect you and are they going to play hard for you and run through a wall for you? And I know they definitely are going to do it for both of these coaches. Herbert, pump fake, little check down. Hit him with the shimmy and the shake. After the penalty, gaining back about half that yardage. Second down and 9. I did think it was a little crazy that no one picked the Chargers to win. It's like people forget they don't have McDonald there. They don't have a good defense, and they don't got Roquan Smith playing. How are the Ravens going to win? It's like, are they going to get a pick 6 on Herbert? Are they going to get a fumble for a touchdown? Are they going to get a special teams touchdown? Like, that's the only way that I can see Baltimore actually keeping the game somewhat close is if they get like that special play that normally doesn't happen in the NFL every game. And if they can get something like that, then that might be the deciding even factor. But if they don't get a pick 6, they don't get a fumble for a touchdown, they don't get a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown, I don't know. It's going to take something. And it just kind of feels like they're not going to feed Henry like they should. And that's a problem with John Harbaugh. Like if you have one of the best running backs in the game other than Saquon Barkley, you should be feeding that guy 20 to 25 times a game, even at his age. And if you notice, they usually fade from Henry. They go to him early, and then they fade late in the third and fourth quarter, or they don't go to him early, and then they go to him late, but it's too late by then, It's like, I don't know, if they need to get another offensive coordinator, but they don't use Derrick Henry right. Pass incomplete. Raygor with the drop. Having nightmares being in Philly. Eagles could have had Jay Jetta. They picked Raygor. What were they thinking? Hell, the Eagles could have had A.J. Brown also. Imagine if the Eagles and Jalen Hurts had Jefferson and A.J. Brown. What that could have looked like. My goodness. 4th down and 5. Flag on the play. And I like watching the Raven offense with Zay and Henry and Lamar. But again, they got to be able to figure out the proper way to utilize their players, which I don't think they figured out yet. And they need to get a better defense, and they need to get it quick. Otherwise, if you don't get the right pieces in play, Lamar is never going to go to a Super Bowl. He's always going to be known as like one of the top 5 quarterbacks. He's great, but in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, if you end up playing one of those teams that has a good defense, he kind of disappears. And we want to be able to change that narrative. Another flag on the play. .257 left here in the first quarter. 7-0 Chargers. Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Got caught up with 2 episodes of Yellowstone early this morning. Fantastic show. Paramount Plus. If you guys haven't watched that, I would highly recommend. Very good. Personal foul. Ravens, the most penalized team. What are they? The Raiders. Come on, Ravens. Have some discipline. All right, Lamar. And again, we're going to definitely tell if the Ravens know what they're doing or not. They can still fear or respect the Charger defense, being good run defense and pass defense. But again, if you got a top 2 running back in Derrick Henry and you avoid getting him the ball, you're doing yourself a disservice. Even if he only gets 2 yards here, 3 yards there, eventually the holes will open up and he's big enough to run over guys, but I don't know. We'll see if they just have Lamar dancing around or if they actually give Henry the opportunity to get the ball. Because eventually, if you go to Henry, that's going to open up the yardage for the yardage for Flowers, the yardage for Andrews. You got to be able to open it up. And, I feel like play calling for the Ravens has not been very good this year, offensively or defensively, based off personnel and scheme. And with that being said, they're still one of the best teams in the NFL. They're 7-4, but they're 3-3 on the road. And, again, they are really exciting on offense. Gosh, man, something left to be desired with that D. And I just hate seeing teams that are really good, right, on one side of the ball, but terrible on the other side. And, there's no way that the Ravens are going to make the AFC Championship game with that type of defense, not with the competition level being raised by the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, and the Bills, and the Steelers, and you got all these other teams jockeying for position. It's like the Ravens are still good enough to win a playoff game, but I don't see in any scenario this year of them overachieving and making the AFC Championship game. I just don't see it. Yeah, Raiders-Chiefs on Friday. I'll be doing that game as well. So I'll look at the schedule. We might have Tuesday and Wednesday off. I'll have to make a decision if I'm going to do the Lions and Bears Thanksgiving morning. I'm not really sure what the turnout would be for that particular matchup because a lot of people are going to be doing the family and the food and the friends thing. I am going to be doing Dolphins and Packers for sure. So I guess it just kind of depends on how I feel. And if we end up taking off Tuesday and Wednesday, then obviously on Friday we'll be doing the Chiefs and the Raiders, and that'll be at noon. A little bit of an early game. There's some college football on as well as the NFL on Black Friday. Unfortunately, the WWE pay-per-view is on 2 hours or like an hour before Oregon and Washington. So I'm going to be doing the Duck stream, but I will be watching the I just hate missing it, man. We've missed way too many WWE PLEs this year because they've been overseas, and Henry finally gets the ball, thank God. But they've either been overseas or, at a kind of a different time slot. And unfortunately, it seems like there's going to be another one that I'm not going to be able to stream, but I will be watching for sure. You can look that up and verify, Sarah, but I believe Survivor Series War Game starts at 3 o'clock Pacific. And I think that the Ducks in Washington is at 4:30, roughly, 4:30. So can't do both. Lamar towards the sideline, overthrown, incomplete. Not even close to say. And you can tell Lamar is a very, Uncle Mo type of player. When things are going well, they go really, really well, and then they can make first down after first down after first down. But have you noticed with Lamar, when things are going bad, it's really bad. Like, they can't move the football at all. And normally that's when it's going to be against a top 10 defense. So, that's why they struggle when they go against the Steelers, and the Chiefs, and this team, the Chargers, because they're coached up to understand what Lamar's strengths and weaknesses are. Shotgun set on 3rd down and 5. Lamar. Good protection up front. Floater. Receiver falls down. And complete. $3:30 is what? Survivor Series War Games? And then Washington and Oregon is at 4:30, I believe. NBC, Peacock, something like that. Looks like they tripped over each other's feet there, but I don't really see a penalty. There's not very many defenses that can make Baltimore's offense look very bad or mediocre or mid, but this is definitely, again, if you didn't have Harbaugh coaching, right, then yeah, you could still have the same team, but they would be giving up points to Lamar. But again, when you actually have discipline and you have a good coach like Harbaugh, you get the most out of your players. A good return. There you go. Bolts are going to end up getting a field goal minimum on this drive. At least that's what it feels like. 7-0 Chargers. But again, that shows you, again, people like to go for like the popular guy. Lamar is more popular than Herbert. But again, if you're on TV and you realize that, it's three phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, like how are you going to have everyone pick Baltimore? Like nobody thinks that Herbert can get it done against a shitty defense. Like have they not been watching football this year? The hate continues to, keep going. But after the Chargers, if they do win this game, then hopefully that'll wake up a lot of these quote-unquote experts, realizing that the Chargers and the Steelers legitimately have a shot, as well as the Buffalo Bills, to make a run. Maybe Baltimore might be a team that makes the playoffs, but if that defense doesn't improve, they're not going to be able to go on a run, let alone a deep one. And it's kind of weird because normally we're used to, seeing good defense out of Baltimore. This is like one of the very first times ever that we've seen a John Harbaugh-led team with a shitty defense. But again, you let McDonald go. That changed the culture. You don't have the right personnel. 3:30. Yeah. What's the card look like? Paisley's in here now. As a Survivor Series War Games card look halfway decent? How does it look? I haven't got to check to see the final card just yet, so... I got Paisley in here now. I mean, and it's one of those things. It's like, Herbert's always been considered good, but not elite. I mean, that maybe at some point, some people thought he was a top 5 quarterback, like maybe number 5, number 6, but you're going to be able to see Herbert's numbers go up, up, and up. And it's nice to be able to see a team that has always had talent, but just never really hit potential because of coaching. And now you finally have the right pieces in play. Can you imagine after a couple drafts of offensive weapons at running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, what this Charger team could do and look like? It'll be like a baby Niner team back in the day when he was coaching them, right? With Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman and whatnot. Could be very special. And then if they keep adding a few more defensive pieces on top of the weapons they already have, maybe the Chargers end up making a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. It could happen, especially if Harbaugh is still there. Dobbins up the gut, fighting for extra yards. 3rd down. But it's kind of cool, too, that no one can ever complain about, Oregon can't develop quarterbacks. Obviously we know Dylan Gabriel doesn't look like he's going to be an NFL prospect, but for Herbert and Bo Nix, they look great. So it's nice to be able to know that, Oregon and Ohio State, can finally at least have one guy, that could be good. CJ Stroud. Justin Fields, not so much, but at least they got one from Ohio State and we got 2, so... And both of our schools, big run, 1st down, Bolts, J.K. Dobbins, baby, move the chains, but because for years and years and years, it was like, oh, the Buckeyes and Ducks, you guys are good, but you guys have shitty quarterbacks that don't develop in the NFL. But it's nice to have at least a couple now from both of our squads. And I'm looking forward to that Big Ten championship game, as well as the Natty. And I hope we get Ohio State 3 times this year. Big Ten championship and Oregon, Ohio State in the Natty. That's what I'm hoping for. End of the first quarter, 7-0 Chargers. Keeping the ball out of the Ravens' hands, right? Just dinking and doinking, running the ball. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. 7-0 Chargers. Guy right here makes all the difference. Not about the players. It's more about the coaches. Facts. Yeah, but even if they had Roquan, they're not going to win this game. Roquan's not going to make, one person out of the whole roster on defense ain't going to, he would be able to make some tackles, maybe get like a tip interception or a couple bat downs. But, even with Roquan, that's not going to save you. Not today or not this season. And again, I think a lot of people are just enamored by Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers. But again, it's more than just 3 players on a team. It's 11 on 11. So, at some point, people got to recognize that if your defense stinks, you're not going to be able to make the Super Bowl, let alone the AFC Championship game. Obviously they can make the playoffs, but I don't really see them, winning multiple games and overachieving. Defense is too thin. We haven't seen really coaches do what, Jim has done besides like Pete Carroll. So it really shows you like how great of a coach you have to be able to mentor young men that have egos as well as millionaires, that have egos. It's not going to be easy to be able to be a mentor for young men and grown-ass men, and that's why it takes a special individual to be able to make it work. And both of those guys have done a great job at that. Jameis versus Bo Nix. Go Bo. That one actually might be a little bit better than people think. Like, obviously, you look at both of the teams, but again, a lot of people don't realize the Broncos are 7-5 and might actually make a wild card this year. Play action fake, good protection up front, little check down. And I like, Gus the Bus and J.K. Dobbins, and I like the weapons that the Chargers have. It's not as sexy, as like Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. But again, some of those guys are getting a little bit older. And, if it doesn't fit what Harbaugh wants to do, he can pretty much have anybody get results. Just got to be able to buy in. And everyone has bought in. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. 2nd down and 4. Yeah, Roquan, yeah. We know he loves to talk. Roquan on my shit list, though, with that hip drop tackle that they said that he didn't do that took out Godwin for the year. So he's definitely on my shit list. So, I think he's a good player, but I'm not going to go out of my way to root for a guy like that, injuring my guy. Third down and 1. 7-0 Bolts. And again, the longer that you can bleed the clock, right, that's less time for Lamar in that offense to be able to score. Perfect plan by Jim Harbaugh. Not surprised. Pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock, play good defense. And then occasionally run it with Herbert or throw the football. And he's very capable of doing those. I mean, hell, if Harbaugh stays for 5 to 10 years, there might be a year where Herbert ends up being in the MVP talks. I mean, I don't know if you can really be in MVP talks with only 13 touchdowns and 1 pick, but that's pretty impressive with this many games played. Of course, you would want the touchdowns to be higher, but they are a running team and a defensive team. But 10 games in, 13 and 1, that's fucking really impressive in the NFL to have 1 pick in fucking 11 games. You shitting me? Hand off. But again, if you're going to run the ball a lot and you're going to play good defense, then that doesn't mean that you need to throw 30, 40, 50 times, to give him more of a chance to get those picks. First down, Chargers. Move the chains. McDuff, yeah. How did McDuff injure your guy? What was it, a hip drop tackle, or what kind of was it? Did it look intentional? Chargers so efficient, man. Just like a hologram of their coach. Herbert. Little flip. Dobbins with the short game. Second down and 7. Last season, first in points per game allowed. This season, 23rd. Terrible. And sometimes they look like the worst. Herbert, sideline, one-on-one. Incomplete. Quentin Johnston kind of has issues with his hands. Not the greatest receiver. Obviously, highly touted out of college, but they need a better receiver than that on the squad. He's all right. Palmer, though, is better than him, well, at least hands-wise. I mean, he's got the size and the strength in the body, but hands, not so much. And again, if you want a big guy like that and you draft him because he's got to have the hands to make those catches. You just can't have the body frame and, have butterfingers for hands and fingers. Third down and 7. Shotgun set. Herbert, plenty of time. Oh, big pop there by the Ravens. Good defense on J.K. Dobbins. Incomplete. Oh, wow. What week was that? Chargers should be able to go for the field goal and add on some extra points here. 42-yarder. Dicka the kicker. And they're right in the middle hash there, so it should be automatic as long as the snap is good. Kick is up. And right down the middle, baby. And it's good. 10-0 Chargers. I think a lot of the people that predicted the Ravens to win thought that they still had the number 1 defense. Not so fast. Do your homework. 10-0 Bolts. Yesterday's game. Oh, wow. All right, Ravens, your turn. And again, now you're down 10-0, right? And then if they keep scoring, typically that would mean Lamar is going to dance around, dink and doink to Andrews and Isaiah Likely, and Zay won't be able to get open. Henry's not going to get the ball. So it kind of plays, obviously into the other team's favor. If you can, kind of get them out of their rhythm early, they don't know how to respond. It's very rare, that Lamar is just going to all of a sudden get things flowing. And then the Charger defense, and now if the Charger defense has a few injuries, and then you might be able to exploit those injuries. But if the Chargers don't have any guys go down in this game, I don't see any way the Ravens are winning this. Put some more respect on Herbert's name and Harbaugh's name, baby. Let's go. We're at 20, 80 to go. $17 Odas. I wonder what that tastes like, though. A Firehouse Subs Thanksgiving sub. In my area, as far as like Grubhub is concerned, that's like the only thing. Carved slices of tender turkey breast, savory Thanksgiving stuffing, sweet and tart cranberry sauce, mayo served hot on a toasted sub roll. It actually looks really good, but it's just not the same as an actual like Thanksgiving meal. But if that's what I have to get, the day before, just to have something related to Thanksgiving, unless I can find one of these places that will deliver like a meal for 1 or a meal for 2. That way I can have some leftovers and whatnot. Unless my buddy Justin can drop off a plate, but there's no guarantee that that'll be able to happen. He's going out of town to visit family and whatnot, unless he can do it on his way home. But You've had it before? You did. When's the last time that you had something like that? Like last year, or was it last year or this year that you had it? But based on the reviews and the photos, it looks good. Like it looks like it would be the closest thing to like a Thanksgiving type of spread that I could be able to get. So this year you've had it. Nice. And Firehouse Subs is expensive but tasty. So if that's the route that I have to go, then at least I know. But I can't order it on Thanksgiving. I'd have to order it the day before, and either do like non-toasted for the bread, and then I can heat it up, I guess, the next day if I want to heat up some of the stuff in the middle. So first down and 10. Lamar, hands off. There's Derrick Henry. There he is. Rumbling and a bumbling. That's why you don't want to neglect your best weapon on offense, not named Lamar. First down, Ravens. Move the chains. Yeah, I think that's what I might end up doing. Just because I can't. Even if I make a Facebook post with my Facebook friends, most of them are kind of acquaintances, and I might be able to get one person, that would be nice enough to do that for me. But yeah, mac and cheese is solid from there, huh? I've never had the mac and cheese from there, but I've heard it's good. Handoff up the middle from Henry. Wow, look at that. First down, Ravens. And that's how you get back in the game, as long as they have a hard time stopping them. Should have gotten them the ball in the first quarter. I think I will. Is that the best side that they have, is the mac and cheese? Yeah, but that's the only place that is like a sub type place that offers something like that. But nice to know that at least that's an option for me on like Wednesday evening. First down and 10. Hand off up the middle. Justice Hill, short game. Today? He got it today? Or are we talking about last year? For the TV. Chili soup is decent. I'm a big mac and cheese fan, so I think that would probably be the way that I would go too. Second down and 5. 10-0 Chargers. Let's see if Lamar can get them into the end zone. They're obviously going to be in field goal range, but Tucker has been reeling in the last month or so. Lamar, hands off. Nope. Play action. Floater. Got a man. One-on-one. Incomplete. Wow. Good defense by the Chargers secondary there to knock it out. That's super cheap. That's crazy. I remember when those, big boxed big screens came out in the late 90s, early 2000s when I moved out. They were like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Now you can end up getting a TV that's 50, 60 inches for like a couple $100. Pretty wild. All right, third down and 5. Shotgun set. Lamar, pump fake. Dancing, romancing, pump fake, floater. Mark Andrews. First down, Ravens. Is that going to be like your guys' new living room TV or something? Yeah, I'm going to have to. I mean, like I said, I would even pay someone, that lives close to me, like $20, $30 if they would be willing to deliver and drop off a plate. But, I just don't know what people's schedules are going to be up to. First down, Ravens, Derrick Henry right up the gut. And they found a little bit of momentum now with 8 minutes to go, being down 10-0. You just can't, have Lamar, just running around and looking for someone to throw to. And you got to make sure that you're taking advantage of your number one receiver and number one running back. I mean, it's been years since Lamar actually had a solid number one receiver and a number one running back. They've always had the number one tight end, but Andrews isn't being used the same way as he was in years past. He's playing much less snaps, splitting snaps with Likely. Handoff, flag on the play. Henry, touchdown, Ravens. That was easy, but there's a flag on the play. Illegal formation. Bring it back. Yeah. I wish I had money to spend at Black Friday, but I don't. I don't. First and goal with that mental error by the Ravens, the most penalized team. See if this Charger defense can squeeze a little bit tighter here. Lamar with the keeper. Bouncing it to the outside. Touchdown, Ravens. Speed kills. And there's nothing you can do when Lamar bounces it to the outside. Kind of shitty if you have Derrick Henry in fantasy because you got robbed a little bit there. But there's Lamar, 10-yard rushing TD. And at least the game is a little bit closer now. And if the Charger defense gets tired in the second half and Lamar and Henry are able to do what they normally do, then they could come back and win this game. But we'll see on how it all kind of plays out on this next drive as well as the second half. Extra point is up, and it is good. Nice to see Jay Tuck make an extra point, and we'll see a field goal out of him at some point tonight. 10-7 Bolts. Nice job, Lamar. Hit him with the skirt. Nice. Yeah, I know that Costco right now has like Nike like hoodies and sweatpants sets of like black and gray. So obviously that'll be something that I'll probably end up getting from family and whatnot. And I could use another duck hat, a white one or a black one. So I would assume towards holiday times, that I'll end up getting some of those things. And I'm obviously going to be outside a lot with Paisley and whatnot, but it would be nice to be able to grab some of those. And the quality looks pretty good. Hybrid in the building. What's good? Yeah. Well, things, it all depends on the items, that are going to be going on sale. But since we're like in that inflation period, people don't have as much money. If you're rich, you're rich. But for a lot of us that are like middle class or lower class, you don't got the same type of money that maybe you did a few years back where, things were a little bit crazier, where they only have, a couple TVs that are going to be, ridiculously reduced or whatever the, hot item is for toys and whatnot. And obviously you don't have Toys R Us that really exists anymore. So there would be a lot of hysteria and craziness in a place like that, parents trying to get their kids like that hot new toy item. And since Toys R Us doesn't exist, you're not going to see those scraps and those fights anymore. You're still going to see people going to Target and other places, but unfortunately, like Amazon and places like that have reduced people of actually going into physical stores and just buying online now. So it's good, Hybrid. Finally getting on the board. Get Henry the ball a little bit more. The defense is terrible, but at least the offense, came to play at some point. All right, Chargers, your turn. Show me Harbaugh. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Oh, yeah, GameStop, Babbage's. Oh, your boy would be there, bro. I waited in line for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2, and I remember, how it was. I remember when PS2 came out, I went to an Electronic Fries that was like 5 minutes from my house, and there was people lined up, already at like midnight, and they were going to open the doors at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And when I got there, there was like 15 people maybe ahead of me, 15 to 20. And then by the time that the doors opened, there was probably 300 to 400 people there, and they only had 20 PS2s, and I was number 20. So I was actually incredibly lucky. But yeah, I remember those times, man. But there's nothing sweeter than being able to get something that you really, really wanted. Waiting in line was no big deal for me. But the Babbage's and the GameStop, Electronics Boutique, all the places that sold the video games and whatnot, man, I miss those places. Baby toy stores, Toys R Us. I mean, that's like my childhood in my life, man. Shotgun set, Herbert, screen pass. Darius Davis with the short game. Going out. Chargers ties with the Ravens. Someone else's trash could be someone else's treasure. Shotgun set. Play action fake. Herbert avoiding the sack launch. Throws to the sideline. First down. Chargers. Move the chains. Nice job by Palmer. I like Palmer more than Johnson. I don't know. I just feel with Quentin, that was a bad draft pick. He's got the big body, but it just doesn't fit this team. They need to improve the receivers and tight ends. And if they can ever get some superstar players to play with Herbert as Harbaugh being head coach, watch out. Herbert, definitely is needing, some of those, top tier talented players to take it to the next level. Second down and 10. Well, I'm glad that you had that particular sandwich. So that way, I mean, based on everything that I read and everything that I see, it looks amazing. So I'm probably going to get that the night before just in case none of my homies come through. Disley with the catch just short of the marker. I mean, even if I got to pay like $30, including delivery for it, it'll be worth it just to be able to have the taste like everyone else is having. And then, then we'll figure out if I end up doing that Lions-Bears game at 9:30 in the morning. We're already going to do Packers and Dolphins in the evening, but I might do that Lions-Bears matchup in the morning. Might. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Kind of just depends on how I feel and how Paisley's doing in the morning. Shotgun set. Fake jet sweep. Dobbins up the gut, and the Ravens sniffed that out. Flag on the play. You're a fan of John and Jim. And obviously both of them are coaches because their dad was a coach. And, they wanted to follow in dad's footsteps. Very talented family. We see guys, like the Bosas and, you start to see certain, the Watts, where you have like multiple, players, the Kelseys, that are in the NFL, which is a feat of its own. But to be able to have brothers, both coaches and both elite, super rare. They got a good family there, the Harbaughs. Third down and 11, and Mama Harbaugh and Papa Harbaugh are not there. They're celebrating their anniversary. Ladd McConkey with the catch. Very solid player. Just short of the marker. Fourth down. Yeah, I mean, again, even if Jerry passes away, the brothers underneath, and the family, the sons, they're just going to keep doing the same shit over and over. You'd probably be better off switching teams, honestly. Going to be a Texan fan or just switching from that, because it's not going to get any better. Even if you get Ashton Genty in the draft, that's not going to solve all the problems. It's like, even Belichick coming in wouldn't be able to solve everything. Especially when you have an owner that wants to be the face of the franchise. That's a recipe for disaster. 10-7, Bolts. Iowa City. Way back in the day, 71-73. All right, Ravens, let's go, baby. 3:54 left. See if they can tie it or take the lead. And you got to think at some point, even if you have an elite defense, like the Chiefs or the Steelers or the Chargers, at some point in this matchup, they are going to get tired, and they will end up giving up a little bit more than they normally would. But they still haven't really utilized Henry the correct way, and Zay hasn't really gotten any opportunities to get the ball yet. And I assume that that'll happen in the second half, if not on this particular drive. Henry on first down with a short gain. First season as a Charger defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, and he's doing a fucking job. 14.5 points per game allowed, fewest in the NFL. Amazing. Second down and 5 on the Baltimore 12. Lamar, hands off. Henry up the gut for a couple. Third down and short. 3rd and 1. Reflect in the building. What's good? Lamar, hands off. And Henry is stopped. Wow, good defense there by the Bolts, knowing exactly what they're going to run right up the gut. 4th down. I mean, it might take 2 or 3 players to knock down Henry, but they had enough there. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Or it looks like they're at least going to attempt it. See if they can draw them off sides. I highly doubt that. Because they don't want to give up the ball here, right? You give up the ball here, right? You give up the ball here, and then the Chargers score, the game might be over. So obviously they're not. They're going to punt. You're not fooling nobody. All right, Chargers. Megan with a 20. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. 20. Holla. We're at 40, 60 to go. Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it very, very much. We're at 40, 60 to go. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and we can sprinkle some in now and as well as during halftime. And then the Kraken are coming on in about 40 minutes. So I'll turn that on also. Blazers right now playing the Grizz with a bunch of injuries. Down by 11. Don't expect to really beat Memphis, but John Morant with 20 against the Blazers. Yeah. Okay. Let me know, again, let me know what you're wanting for photos, or if you just want them later. You just let me know what you want, and I can always take care of you at any given time. So, $10-7 Chargers. So most likely we'll probably take tomorrow off. We'll see what is on the slate for maybe Wednesday, but it is possible that we might have, Tuesday and Wednesday off. Thursday, I may do 2 NFL games or just one. Lions and Bears at 9:30 a.m. And then obviously the Packers and Dolphins in the evening stream. That's the one I'm going to do for sure. Lions and Bears, I haven't really decided. And then on Friday, we're going to do the Chiefs and Raiders on Black Friday at noon. And then we got wrestling on Saturday, WWE, but we're not going to do a stream for it. We're going to do the Huskies and the Ducks, since it's going to be on about an hour after wrestling. So I'll watch both at the same time, but eventually we'll be able to get a WWE PLE in on the stream. All right, 2-minute warning, 10-7 Bolts. All right, Raven, show me. Reflect with a 3-er. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, $3 holla. Appreciate you. Wow, they went for it. Wow, that's a ballsy move. First down, Ravens. Lamar, keeper. Where are you going? Nowhere. Tuipulotu with the tackle. I got you. J.K. Dobbins going to the locker room early. Lamar always makes me nervous, handling the football so, open, just like having it in one hand. And I know he's got pretty good sized hands to grip that football. But it always makes me nervous when I see quarterbacks running around, with the football like that. One big hit or one little, knock to your elbow and that ball goes flying. And I wish that he would just secure that football a little bit more. Lamar, nice pass. Here's Zay down the sideline. Good game there by Zay. First down, Ravens. Move the chains. Yeah, well, I hope it ends up being good. I really do. I don't necessarily, I know some Duck fans are probably hoping that they blow them out by 20, 30 points, but I would rather prefer a good game, I mean, even if it ends up being a little bit of a nail biter, like the Boise State game, the Ohio State game, or the Wisconsin game, I wouldn't mind that, Lamar, floater, too high, out of bounds, incomplete, flag on the play. Well, defensive pass interference. Ravens with the momentum now. Chargers won that first quarter, but now some mental errors here by the Chargers, and it looks like the Ravens are going to get a minimum of a field goal by Tucker, even though he's been a little shaky in the last month. But based on the momentum, the Ravens could end up taking the lead before halftime. We'll see. Steve Belichick. Man in motion. Shotgun set. First down and 10. Lamar. Plenty of time. Got a man. One-on-one. Touchdown, Ravens. Wow. Rashad Bateman. How did he catch that? And a flag on the play. That was amazing. What a throw. What a catch. Fulton is just all over him. Doesn't even locate the football at all. And Bateman keeping his eyes on the football, keeping his feet inbounds. Wow. Unbelievable throw and catch combo there. Nice job, Ravens. Wow. Great throw by Lamar there. And again, if they actually had a corner that could find the football, they would have been able to intercept that. I don't think I've seen a corner turn his head back and forth, back and forth, back and forth 3 times and not even locate the football once. Wow. Extra point. Kick is up right down the middle, and it's good. 14-10 Ravens. Nice job by Lamar and Rashad Bateman. And that doesn't happen to the Chargers that often this year. Let's see if the Chargers are going to try to respond and get into field goal range, or if they will say that is enough and we'll go into halftime down 4. We're at 43, 57 to go. All right, Chargers, your turn. The battle of the Harbaughs. Whether you like Jim or you like John, it's a family affair, baby. I love it. Glad that the Ravens were, finally able to get Henry going. Lamar doesn't have to try to be Superman and run around all over. Just let the game come to you. Especially when your defense is a little suspect. Reflect with the tour. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, cactus jack, bang bang. $2 holla. Wish we had a better afternoon Thanksgiving game than the Giants and Cowboys. But at least the other two are decent. Lions and Bears, that's decent. And the Lions always play that first game in the morning to kind of set the tone for Thanksgiving. And, Dolphins Packers wouldn't be my number one choice for the evening game, but it's not terrible. Wow, really? Interesting. How many quarterbacks are you going to run? You guys going to run 2 against the Ducks? I don't know. We'll see. You never know. I mean, the rivalry, obviously the Ducks are going to, not forget what happened last year with those 2 big losses that we had against you. So obviously revenge will be in, our minds, but your team is not the same team as last year. So it's but we know that at any given moment, if you play bad for a quarter or a half, anything could happen. I mean, look at all the ranked teams that lost last week in college football. Anybody can beat anyone. There is no one that is safe, including Oregon, even though Oregon might be the only undefeated team left in college football out of 120 Division I teams, right? But that doesn't mean that we're going to go unscathed and not lose the whole season. We'll find out. Hope it ends up being a good game. Play action. Herbert steps up in the pocket. Run, baby, run. Get out of bounds. There you go. And then let me know what you want to do for any type of photos at halftime, too. We'll get Megan and yours at that particular time. And if you don't have anything really off the top of the head, then we can sprinkle in a little Jonah Coleman and a little Macklemore. 2nd down and 2. Four wide. Shotgun set. Herbert. Good pass protection. Herbert going long, going deep, got a man, but just overthrew his intended target. Now, Palmer, to me, is more of a weapon than Johnson. I think Johnson is kind of not that good, but I think with Joshua Palmer, that's the second best option that they have, obviously behind the rookie from Georgia, Vlad McConkey. Yeah, Tez will be back, it sounds like. Yeah, Tez will be back. It'd be, I don't know if they're going to give him limited snaps and whatnot and wait for like the college football playoff or the Big Ten championship game, but I would assume that he'll be back for that Huskies game. And if for whatever reason at game time decision, if they decide that they want to wait till, the Ohio State matchup, then so be it. But I think there is a very good possibility that Tez would be back for that Husky game. But hopefully not too early. I don't want him to re-aggravate it because we obviously would need him. And if he's still not 100%, you can wait until Ohio State in that Big Ten championship game. So that might be the smart thing to do. But based off the injury report in the Instagram, his personal, sounds like he will be ready. Whether that's for the Huskies, the Big Ten championship, or the college football playoff, but he will be back. Timeout is taken with 7 seconds left. Love you guys. Well, you got to think. I mean, this is probably the best quarterback that Harbaugh has coached besides Andrew Luck. And we know how good Andrew Luck was. So at Stanford and obviously with the Colts. Go Ducks. First out and 10. 4 wide. Shotgun set. Herbert. There it is. Timeout. Wow, what a throw by Herbert here to be able to cut this lead down for Dicka the Kicka to get it to 14-13. And if this was a coach, if this was a team led, by Anthony Lynn or by Staley, that wouldn't have happened. Because, you got to think out of all the coaches in the NFL, clock management and play management was probably the worst for the Chargers in the entire NFL. And it's nice to be able to see them have discipline with the play calling and to be able to get themselves in position to at least try to get the game a little bit closer. Nice job. 52-yard attempt by Dicka the Kicka. This is 5 in fantasy if he makes it. And then he'll cut that lead down from 4 to 1, which would be good momentum going into halftime. That's out. And I imagine Jabbar Muhammad will be doing everything in his power to try to get a pick against his former team. $45 to go, and then we'll get photos up here for Megan and Reflect in just a second. See if we end up getting this lead cut down. And obviously a 14-13 game is exactly what you would want. And then we'd be pacing for maybe like a 24-20, 27-24, 26-23 kind of game, something like that. So kick is up and good. There we go. Dicka the Kicka. Right down the middle, baby. Hell yeah. Harbaugh versus Harbaugh is living up to the billing, baby. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. I love it. All right, let's get some photos up. All right, so we're sprinkling in some of these photos for the two of you. I'm glad the Ravens ended up getting a little bit of offense, better late than never to make it a game. And again, going for that 4th down and 1 on your own 15-yard line, that could have really went sideways. So sometimes you have to take those risks, though. Brother versus brother. Chris Berman. Boom. Yes, it is. How are you doing, brother? I'm going to go through the photos here one more time, and then we'll be able to make a little bit more room. Oh, Kobe Bryant, let's go. Pick 6. Grab the crotch. Marshawn, touchdown, Hawks. Let's go. Oh, Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton is just like Russell Wilson at Cortland Sutton. Who would have thought? Nice job, Broncos. I see you. Go, Bake. Let them know. Hey. Gabba-da-goo. The game, 14-13, Ravens. Second half here in less than 4 minutes. And if there's any other photos that you want Megan or Reflect, just let me know and I will delete these and make some more room. We're going to squeeze in as many as we can. Harbaugh versus Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. Let's go. Chief with a $5, always showing love. What do you want to see for photos? You got any Kansas City Chiefs or anything specific that you want to see? Let me know, and I got you. Appreciate you. Let me delete these photos real quick so I can make room for some of yours. And then Megan and Reflect, anything else that you want to see in these last 3 to 4 minutes, let me know. And then we'll get a couple photos up for Chief with his support, and I appreciate it. You know, anyone that supports, you know, it's like you're not just supporting me and a YouTube channel, you're literally supporting my dream. So it means everything. You know, bills cost and Paisley costs money. And, obviously I don't need to be rich, but I need to be able to at least do the bare minimum and, pay the bills and make sure that she has a happy life. So appreciate you, my guy. $5 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. So I think that will probably, most likely, since I'm not going to be able to spend Thanksgiving with my dad and my stepmom like I normally do, we'll take probably Tuesday and Wednesday off. Then we may do 2 NFL games, maybe possibly one. We're going to do definitely Packers and Dolphins for sure, the evening game on Thanksgiving. And then if I feel like it, I might end up doing the Lions and Bears in the morning. We'll see. And then on Friday, we'll do the Chiefs and the Raiders on Black Friday at noon. It'll be an early game. And then Saturday, we'll do Ducks and the Huskies, as well as we watch a little bit of WWE pay-per-view. And then on Sunday, I haven't even looked that far ahead to see who's playing on Sunday night and Monday night. So let's do it now. So Bears, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, Packers on Thanksgiving, Raiders and Chiefs on Amazon Prime on Friday. And then Sunday slate, we got Colts, Pats, Steelers, Bengals, Chargers, Falcons, Hawks, Jets, go Hawks, Texans, Jags, Cardinals, Vikings, Titans, Commandos, Bucks, Panthers, go Bucks, Rams, Saints, Eagles, Ravens, and it'll be 49ers and Bills on Sunday night, and then Browns and Broncos. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Obviously, the Niners are not very good this year, as neither is the Browns. But again, it could be a trap game for the Broncos against the Browns. And then obviously it would be a trap game for the Bills, you would assume. But I don't know if I can see any scenario of the Niners beating Buffalo in Buffalo. But if Brock Purdy is back, that'll help. But so that's what we'll end up doing. That's the slate of what we're going to be doing here for the next 4 or 5 days. So nice. It'll be a good way to celebrate a victory, as long as they don't take it easy on them. So let's got to get a couple photos up here. Chief, have you listened to the new Kendrick album? They ended up just dropping the first music video this morning. But it's incredible. If you haven't listened to it yet, I highly recommend it if you're a hip-hop fan. It's probably the best album I've heard from beginning to end in a long time. I'll hit you with a Jamal Charles. Get you at least a couple throwback photos here. Appreciate you, Chief. Everybody loves Jamal Charles. Hell, even Larry Johnson. All right, baby. Third quarter. We got a good one here. The Harbaugh Bowl. Let's go. What a stud. We got John. We got Jim. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Yeah, and that definitely is going to be a trap game for the Hawks playing the Jets, because the Jets have been so fucking bad, and again, they're going to have to be focused that whole game, because if they slip up even for a second, you never know where the Jets could get lucky, where Brees has a good game or Devontae Adams actually gets in the fucking end zone, and hopefully you guys can end up getting that dub. All right, looks like we're at, what are we at? We're at 12. We need 8 more to get to 20. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need 8 more to hit the goal. And hopefully we get a few more scragglers coming in here in the second half and we can hit that goal. We are at 12. 8 more to go to hit the goal. Let's go. Agreed. Hit that like button for your boy, David. Fly, Eagles, fly. You guys look good. Saquon, best running back in the game, besides Derrick Henry. And if he ends up getting the MVP this year, I don't think anyone would have any, really an issue with it. But really, it's going to come down to if Saquon plays well, maybe you guys get to the NFC Championship game. And if he plays really, really well, maybe you beat the Lions. But if he doesn't play well, you're not going to beat him. It's like he's really the biggest X factor for that team. He gives you something that you guys have never had before, an elite running back. Yeah, Eric Dickerson's numbers, just like Genty's trying to catch Barry Sanders. But, one thing is for sure, between Genty at Boise State and Saquon on the Eagles, it shows you if you got a good offensive line, how much better you could be. Just imagine if Kelsey didn't retire and he was still there. Then Saquon's numbers would even be higher. Little screen pass. Great stop there by the Chargers. We're at 50 to go. But it definitely makes the Eagles, the second best team to the Lions in the NFC. And, we'll see what happens. The Packers might be third, but I think that, it's very clear that, the Detroit Lions and Philadelphia Eagles are the two best in the NFC, at least for today. And more than likely, as we get closer and closer to December in the playoffs, it's going to take a special performance to knock off either one of those teams. 3rd down and 9. Lamar, shotgun set, pump fake, little check down. Andrews, leaning forward, 1st down, Ravens. Move the chains. Nice job by Lamar and Mark Andrews connecting. Yeah, Jurgens is definitely no fucking Kelsey, but yeah, I mean, they all are playing well. You know who's really playing, besides the rookie corners that you guys drafted? Nakobe Dean. Obviously in his rookie season, didn't really have a lot of moments. He had flashes here and there, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like he was at Georgia. But this year, he's having like, oh my God moments. And, for a little guy, he really does pack a punch for being an undersized linebacker. He's been very good for you guys this year. Same thing with Jalen Carter up front. 2nd down and 7, 14-13 Baltimore. Yeah, Graham out for the year. That's a shitty, man. One of the best players on the roster, and hopefully next man up mentality, they'll be able to work around that. But definitely a huge loss for Philly last night. I agree. I think a lot of Eagle fans kind of like, fuck, But again, even with him out, you guys are still the 2nd best team to the Detroit, Like even with that injury, it's not like the Packers are better or the Vikings, or the Falcons or the Bucks, or any team in the NFC West today. Now, things may come, and things may be a little bit different as we get closer to December where teams get hot. And, but at least for today, it's looking pretty good for Philadelphia and their fan base. Oh, this was going to be Brandon's last year? Fuck. So what's going to happen now? Is he going to retire? Or is he going to become a free agent next year? Like, what's the deal with his contract? He was going to walk away and retire, wasn't he? 3rd down and 10. Lamar, scrambling, gambling. Joey Bosa trying to chase him down. Towards the sidelines. Hey, 1st down, Ravens. Unbelievable vision and arm strength by Lamar. You got to get to Lamar. Again, easier said than done. And Lamar is always going to keep his eyes downfield. Did he get both the feet in? I believe he did. Little toe drag swag there. Nice job. Oh, wow. Well, at least that'll give you guys some extra motivation. Like the Dodgers got it from Fernando Valenzuela passing away. And normally when you end up having either a death from a famous player in the organization, cancer, or some type of sickness that comes out, Lamar, flick of the wrist, almost intercepted. Or if you have a player that ends up having a season-ending injury, they can kind of devote the rest of the season to that player if he's well-liked in the locker room. And obviously, I would say Brenton is, and that could be some extra motivation to try to win it for him. So, but obviously, beating Detroit is not going to be an easy feat. But if Saquon plays like he has been playing, he is the X factor. And if he plays great, they could beat the Lions. But if he only plays like an average game, 80 yards and a touchdown, that's not going to be enough. You're going to have to get over 100 yards, and he's going to have to score like 2 to 3 times, either on the ground or through the air. And if he's able to do that, that might be good enough to beat Detroit by 3, just based on the flow of the game. 3rd down. But he's definitely the best running back in the game with him and Derrick Henry. Those are the best two by far. 2 totally different types of running backs. The athletic running back, like a Barry Sanders, and then you got like a bigger back, kind of like a Dickerson or Walter Payton type in Derrick Henry. So you get one guy that's kind of built like a fullback, but has speed like a halfback in Derrick Henry, and then Saquon just does shit that you've never seen before. It's like he's like a creative player maxed out at 100 and everything. Lamar, flick of the wrist. Zay over the middle. Good angle there. Nice tackle by the Bolts. Yeah. Carson Wentz. And I remember everything very clearly with, Philly, because my very first year on the channel, I predicted that the Eagles were going to win, and they were going to win big, and everyone laughed, except Eagles fans, because they thought I was onto something. But I thought that they had a better O-line, better D-line, defense, and I felt that if they played a perfect game, they would have a chance against Brady. Kick is up, and they did. And then I didn't predict Philly. I don't think anyone saw that coming, but, I had a feeling that they were going to win by like 9 or 10, and they did, and then Eagle fans have been, with me ever since. So, I mean, it could be definitely very easy to be like, oh, Tom Brady, especially going against Nick Foles, a backup. But it just felt different that year, and I'm not going to get every Super Bowl winner right, but I got a pretty good track record. Nice field goal there by Baltimore, 17-13 Ravens. They may come down to whoever has the ball last. Yeah, I don't think that they were worried about the jinx because no one picked you guys to fucking win besides you guys alone. There is no fucking outsider that was a non-Eagles fan that picked them to win. I mean, everyone was picking that year Brady and the Pats. There was nobody picking the Eagles to win besides, Eagle fans that were hopeful that they would be able to find a way to get it done, but. And it's not like I said it to get on the Eagle fans, good side. I said it because I felt like that's what was going to happen, and it did. So, but again, I'm not going to get every prediction right, but I mean, usually we get a few things that are predicted every stream, so not by coincidence. 17-13 Baltimore. All right, Kraken, just about to get started with puck drop here in about 2 minutes. Let's go. Yeah, and Wentz would have won the MVP that year, too. All right, Bolts, your turn. Get this team in gear, Harbaugh. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to the bare minimum of 20. 7 more to go. And we are there. There we go. 6 more to go. We're at 14 now. 6 more, and then we're there. Let's get it, baby. No J.K. Dobbins would be a huge loss for this team. Like Gus the Bus, both of these guys are former Ravens and whatnot, but also the Dobbins is injury prone. He's been injured like every fucking year he's been in the league, even in college. So but I don't think anyone gives a shit if Wentz got, the glory or not. If anything, getting the Super Bowl, that's what it was all about, doing something that people thought you wouldn't be able to do. But it also shows you it's not about the quarterbacks, and the tight ends and the running backs and the receivers. It's about O-line, D-line, coaching, play calling, and having those, things being hit on point. O-line, D-line, defense coaching, play calling. Not just quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. But again, it takes a special team to be able to beat, like a Mahomes or a Brady. Not very many teams can do it. 2nd down and 3. Handoff. Uh-oh. Big play by Harrison, and they're feeding off the injury here. Hopefully it's not season-ending for J.K. Dobbins, because there goes the Chargers' chances of making a deeper run if they don't have him. Yes, I'll get you some. Third down and 5. Shotgun set. Herbert got plenty of time. Get rid of it. Towards the sideline. First down. Chargers. Move the chains. Handoff up the middle, short game. Second down and 7. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. 76 tutties, 20 picks, 13 touchdowns and 1 pick going into this game. Herbert breaks that tackle and caught from behind. Flag on the play. Holding. I might have to watch this movie again. I got you. But definitely got a lot of good football as we get closer and closer to the holiday. Second down and 17. 4 wide, shotgun set. Herbert, good protection. Jalen Reagor, the former Eagle. Third down. Third down and 8 on the LA 48. Trips left, shotgun set. Ravens showing blitz. 8 in the box. Late blitz coming. Herbert avoids the sack. Finds his open man. Nice job. First down, Chargers. And that blitz on that blind side would have caused a fumble if he didn't move out of the way. He would have got fucking blasted. So nice job to kind of feel that presence of that guy coming and seeing him at the very last second, keeping your eyes downfield. Nice job. First down, Chargers. Move the chains. We're at 50. 50 to go, baby. Ladd McConkey. Ladd would make a great weapon for Tom Brady if he was just, in that particular era. He's just like a Wes Welker or a Julian Edelman, right? Amendola. Ladd McConkey would have been a perfect target for Brady. He would have loved him. Herbert. Short game. Starting to see more athletic Caucasian receivers and corners and safeties enter the league. Not something that you usually see a lot of, but I like seeing, things that people say that can't be done. Like you're not going to be able to have a Caucasian corner that can be elite, or you're not going to be able to find a Caucasian receiver that can keep up with some of the athletic brothers, and some of them might be taller and faster, but they're definitely still capable, white receivers and corners and safeties that can play this game. Herbert. Good blitz there by the Ravens. Herbert goes down to the ground. Humphrey there. 3rd down and 11. Raging Cajun. Third and 11. I'd be looking at Ladd McConkey or Joshua Palmer. Shotgun set, Herbert, floater, incomplete. Just threw it away. Nobody was open. Good decision there by Justin. Ravens defense actually playing much better than they were playing in the first quarter, and that's what's making this game a little bit tighter. But it also shows you, too, that Herbert doesn't have the same kind of chemistry or weapons as like Joe Burrow, with Jamar Chase, where they were just able to absolutely destroy this defense. With the offensive weapons that they have, it's they're good, but they're not on that level yet. Kick is up and good. Dicka the kicker with another 5 points. Anybody got Dicka? Anyone got Dicka? Probably not. I assume he's probably on the wire, sitting there or on someone's bench or something. What a good one. 17-16. The Harbaugh Bowl is delivering. Puck drop, baby. Let's go. All right, Ravens, your turn, baby. Let's go, baby. No, I haven't seen him today. He's on a different time schedule like Megan is, so I'm not really sure what time it is for him and whatnot, but we may see him drop in at some point, or he may be busy, so. I mean, we're 10-10-1, and they're 8-8-3. So it's definitely a winnable game for the Kraken, even though we're on the road. And we did have some bad news that Megan shared with me. One of our best players ended up, being out for the year, our main captain and one of our best players. So the chances of us being able to recover from that and being able to make the playoffs, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. It was already going to be hard even with him on the roster, but now with him out for the year, the chances of making the playoffs for the Kraken is going to be that much more difficult. So, I mean, it'll give an opportunity for other guys like Maddie to step up to be next man up. But, I mean, we're already kind of thin as it is, and, we could always use more talent, and having one of our more talented players go down with a season-ending injury this early in the season is definitely not good. But I'll still be watching, though. Okay, no worries. I'll be watching both. I'll keep you updated. Yeah, that's why I said it's not like we're not going to make it. I didn't say that, right? But it's going to be a lot harder. It still is going to be possible. Other guys would just have to step up, and Grew would have to step up and be better. Even though DeCourt has been pretty good for us at this point. And again, we have a problem scoring goals in most games, and not ideal when you have one of your better players go down with an injury. So I'll still be watching, and I'll still be rooting. 17-16 Ravens. And let's see what happens here with Lamar and company. Lamar, play action fake. Good blitz. Avoids the sack lunch. Get up. And Lamar is so sneaky. Like most quarterbacks would have been done there with a sack. And again, Hart is a big boy, right? But again, Lamar, probably the most elusive player in the NFL. You know, I think that there's no one else that's got the moves or the speed like him. And that's why he's so hard to bring down. Second down and 4. Handoff. Henry takes a big lick. Third down and 1. Have fun with Ollie at the puck. Shotgun set. Lamar. Keeper. Tries a hezzy, and he's short. He is short. But again, the Ravens, if they're going to go for it on 4th and 1 on their own 15-yard line, what makes you think that they're not going to go for it here? You know, it kind of feels like they might have to go for, you know, these kind of suspect, you know, 4th down and shorts because they don't really have any other choice. I mean, actually, they do have a choice. They have a choice to punt, you know, or do something else, but highly doubt that they will. We're at 50 to go. And then you can run it with Henry or you can just go with Lamar. There it is. Wow. Tackle him. Look at Henry. He said, get off me, little boys. First down, Ravens. It's like you got the two hardest guys to bring down, Lamar and Henry, on the same team. Besides maybe Saquon at running back, another guy that's hard to bring down. Henry harder to bring down than Saquon, though. Just based off his upper body strength. When you watch Derrick Henry, it's like he's on varsity and everyone else is like a freshman. He's so much bigger than everybody else. He's built like a linebacker at running back. First down and 10. And momentum has shifted. The Chargers had the momentum in the first quarter, but it's been pretty much Baltimore in the second and the third. You know, the Chargers are keeping it close with field goals, but again, if the Chargers want to win, chances are you're going to have to get more than a field goal in the fourth quarter. You're going to have to get a touchdown to get a little bit of separation in the scoreboard. And you're going to need to be able to stop Lamar and this offense. Flag on the play. Holding. 65. 10-yard penalty. McCary. Good game. Less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 17-16 Ravens. I mean, at this point, you got to get the ball to Mark Andrews, Justice Hill, Isaiah Likely if he's playing. You know, you got to make sure you're getting these other guys involved. Lamar. Wallace. There you go. Nice catch by Tylan Wallace. Again, you want to make sure everyone is getting opportunities. Make yourself a little bit more deadly, you know, behind center instead of just going to, you know, yourself, running or throwing, handing it off to Derrick Henry and Zay. You know, you got to be able to look at some of those other options you have because they're not terrible. You know, these other guys on the team can score. Bateman already proved it earlier, right? Mark Andrews is still capable if you give him enough targets. Unfortunately, he only gets about 4 or 5 a game. So he's very touchdown dependent. 2nd and 4. Lamar, hands off. Big hit on Derrick Henry. You don't see him go down on a one-on-one tackle. Ford. Ford has got that big body. Congrats. You know, it's nice to be able to win at something. Obviously, in you know, in our league, you know, we're losing left and right, but at least you have another league where you can be at least a little bit happier. I don't have another league to fall back on. You know, whether I'm playing with good players or shitty players. You know, I usually only do one. So 4th down again, but that's not going to stop them. End of the third quarter. 17-16 Ravens, and Ravens have definitely, fought back against this, stingy Charger defense. Yeah. Imagine if you had the same kind of record that you have in our league, in that league. You probably would quit fantasy forever. But again, also, too, you're probably playing people that aren't as, in depth in fantasy in that league compared to the one that we're in. I feel like the league that we're in here is going to be one of the better leagues that's out there. It's just based off intelligence and, people that are actually trying and the rosters. For you, it just was kind of bad luck. And you made errors in your draft like I did, and sometimes that happens, But at least now you know that, if you're going to pick a guy that isn't a running quarterback, and normally you would think that C.J. Stroud would be able to put up numbers like a Brock Purdy or a Burrow, but every year is a different type of year in fantasy. End of the third quarter, 17-16, Ravens. The Raiders and the Chefs. Congrats. Second place is always good. Yeah, that's a much better team than what you have in our league. Is it a 10-man or a 12-man? Based off that kind of team, it looks like 10-man. Yeah, shit, if you had a team like that, you'd probably be in the top 4. 10-man, yeah. I mean, obviously having Hurts, that's why Reflect is doing so well every year, having a player like that. Good running backs. You got the best tight end other than, Brock Bowers. And obviously Lions D and Bates. Usually I have those as well. So, and you got Mixon. Jesus. Yeah, you got yourself a little mini Reflect kind of team there. A lot of heavy hitters on that team. Yeah. And like I said, I started Jonnu Smith this week, and he's starting to get hot because I only had him and Mark Andrews after drafting Laporta and him not really playing well for me. First down, Ravens. Yeah, Jonnu Smith would be a good pickup to have just in case something happens to Kittle for sure. First and goal. Chargers need to hold to a field goal or they may not win this game. You got to be able to hold, the Ravens to a field goal at some point in the fourth quarter. First and goal. Henry slips. Otherwise, he probably would have got in the end zone. Second and goal. Yeah, 6'2", 247. That's ridiculous. Lamar, looking, scrambling, gambling. Will he run it himself? Floater, batted down. Molden with the good defensive prowess there. 3rd and goal. All right, Lamar, show us. Double E in the building. What's good, brother? You see the music video that dropped this morning? For Squabble Up? Squabble Up music video came out this morning. I imagine you watched it already. 3rd and goal. Shotgun set. Lamar. Back in the end zone. Mark Andrews, but out of bounds. Oh, my. Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Oh, good. Friends is always good. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I got a notification this morning. I was going to message you, but I was like, I figured you'd stop by in the stream at some point. Now they reverse it. Touchdown, Ravens. Wow. And with that touchdown right there, that might have been the difference in this game. I mean, we know the Chargers are going to be going back and forth as well. Oh, he got both feet down. Nice job by Mark Andrews there. Touchdown dependent. He's only going to get, 3 to 5 looks a game. But again, if one of them can be that, then you're in business and you can get to 10. Nice job. Yeah. I would want you to be that 4th team in the playoffs anyways, if, we had a chance. Assuming that captain won't be able to, catch up there. Lamar. 2-point conversion. No good. Why go for 2 there? Just go for the extra point. And that way you're up by 8. Why do you have to go for 2 to be up by 9? It's 12 minutes left. Dumb. Pepperoni pizza, boy. You think the Charger defense would be playing a little bit better, but again, at any given moment, you never know what you're going to get from this individual. All right, Chargers, you got to do something now. Herbert's got to throw for a touchdown pass. And obviously having J.K. Dobbins injured is probably going to be the reason why this team loses tonight. Definitely a winnable game for the Chargers at home, but you got to play perfect, and you can't have any injuries. And again, you have to have your defense play like the Chiefs did and the Steelers did, because the Ravens don't really have the answer for that. But you're not really seeing anybody get to Lamar. Like Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, like you need to see those guys sack Lamar. And we haven't seen Lamar on his back. When Lamar is on his back, you know that you have a chance. But if he has plenty of time to make plays, you're going to lose almost every single time if you can't get to him. And we haven't really seen anybody get to him from this elite Charger defense today. Yeah. Who do you play in your last 2 weeks, Elliot? Probably pretty, decent opponents, I would assume, based off the schedule. But if you win this week, this was the big one. And then who do you got the last 2 weeks? Reflect and Chief, going Chief. So it won't be easy, but at least you're not me, so you're not going to get everyone's best performance. Like I thought I actually was going to win this week. I had the highest projection, 131 out of anyone in the entire league. Up 129.66, and I still lost by 20. So, just be lucky that you're not me, and you're not going to get everyone's A+ effort. So, even if you lose to Reflect, if you beat Chief, then I assume you'll be able to win at least one of those. But if you're going to beat Reflect and Chief going Chief, you're going to have to put up probably 130 to 160, somewhere in there. You might not get away with getting under 130 and winning against those two, unless it ends up being like a 125 to 124 type of thing, which could happen. But you might have to put up 130 and above to win against those opponents. Do you have a backup quarterback on the roster? Better get one. Better grab one ahead of time. Look at the matchups for that particular week and see who's got the best, option against a shit defense. Oh, I would get a different one. You got to get a different one, brother. I wouldn't trust Aaron Rodgers for the life of me. No way. You don't got a whole lot to choose from. I mean, you could do like Stafford versus Buffalo in week 14. Caleb versus San Fran at San Fran. I don't know. Out of all the quarterbacks that are left, I think in that particular week, the only one that you could actually get is Stafford. Stafford would probably be the only one that would put up similar numbers to Rodgers, or maybe more. But also, too, he could end up not doing that well either. I mean, Rodgers and Stafford could get 8, or they might get 18. You don't really know. So. Yeah, but who do the Jets play in that week? What's the team that they play in week 14? You play Miami? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, my guy. Anything, like I said, as long as you're not me, you're good. You're going to be able to, make the right decisions, and we'll see if you have enough. (23-16) Ravens. Big toss. Wow, one-handed grab by Edwards there. Damn, loss of 7. What were they thinking there? Come on, Harbaugh, get him going here. Now that was supposed to go backwards lateral. If he didn't catch that, that could have been game right there if he would have dropped it. Dobbins is out. They're not going to be able to win without Dobbins. I mean, Gus the Bus is still pretty good, but it definitely limits the play calling that they had, planned in this game. Play action fake. Herbert. Disley. 11-yard gain there on second down. 3rd down and 6 for Los Angeles. $11 minutes to go. 23-16 Ravens. Chargers won the first quarter, but since then it's been all Ravens, and they don't even have a good defense. So, but again, J.K. Dobbins getting hurt for the Chargers is kind of the equalizer. It's like the Ravens defense isn't good, but you're not really threatening them that much, and you don't have a solid running game, so they know you're going to throw. So even a bad defense can get away with being bad as long as the offense does their part with Lamar and Henry and Zay and Andrews. But they get caught there with a flag. Little PI, defensive pass interference. Move the chains. Need to bring that electricity up to another level here. 3rd down and 6. Pipkins. I don't know about that. Questionable call. I didn't even see a penalty. Where was the penalty? Another suspect, scripted bullshit, Vegas bullshit kind of, what is that? 3rd down and 6. Herbert. Johnson's fucking terrible. Cut this motherfucker. He's terrible. This guy was a bust from day one. Get rid of him. Terrible. You shouldn't even be looking his way. It should be going to Joshua Palmer, right? Or Ladd McConkey. That's it. Jesus Christ. At the biggest moment, they need you to be able to make that catch. Terrible. You're done, bro. Off the team. He's a terrible receiver. Not good. All you do is you have the look of a receiver, but you have no hands. You're all just body frame. Arms, shoulders, legs. You got the iced out jewelry, but you can't even fucking make a catch. Come on. How about you fucking sell those diamonds and you work the fucking jug machine? Jesus Christ. Catch the ball for Herbert. Help your fucking team out. Christ. Chargers with the punt. I mean, if you got J.K. Dobbins out, that's the last thing that you need, as your receivers to drop balls that are right there. Terrible. I wouldn't even want him as my 3rd or 4th string receiver. Fuck that. And he might be able to turn his career around on another team, but it's not going to be in L.A. He's going to have to go somewhere else and then dedicate himself to the fucking jug machine. Like, his life has to be the jug machine. Who are you married to? Jug machine. That's it. No girlfriends, but the jug. And then maybe down the road he'll be, average, but brutal. 23-16 Ravens. And you got to think at this point the Ravens are probably going to score again. They got the Chargers tired and reeling. So it may not be a touchdown, but they put up a field goal and it's 26-16. Chargers are not going to be able to come back and win. They might be able to come back and get like a field goal or a touchdown, but they're not winning. That's really unfortunate for a team that has been much better, but the defense has to play 4 quarters. You can't play defense, in 3. Think you're going to win. Oh, yeah. Fucking Justin Herbert throwing to his receivers got me like fucking this, dude. Like, don't even look his way. Only Palmer and McConkey, damn it. Jeez. Then if you do that, you'll be like this instead of like this. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Where are we at? We need 4 or 5. How many do we need? 6 more? 5 more likes to get to 20. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button or got a backup account, do your boy a solid. Let's get to 20. We're at 15 now. 5 more to go. And we're at 50, halfway to the goal. 50 to go. Yeah, hell, even I trust Disley a hell of a lot more. He's actually been very good for Herbert within the last month. Like, I definitely, there's not too many receivers in the NFL that are untrustworthy. He might be literally number 1 in the entire NFL. Can you think of anyone else that has got that type of pub that hasn't lived up to their name? I can't think of anyone that has been, talked up like him, coming out of the draft. And, he just is not, doesn't have good hands. I mean, he's got a good body frame. He might be able to run a okay route from time to time, but whoever did the evaluation on him fucking failed that fucking test miserably. Jacob in the building. What's good? Yeah, Dobbins went. Yeah, knee injury. hell, if Saquon didn't have all those opportunities at the 1 yard line that Jalen Hurts scored like 11 fucking tutties, Saquon would probably be at fucking 20 by now. 18 to 20. He'd be ahead of Henry if he didn't have to. I mean, he has the most runs that have gone down to the 1 yard line, and they got the most touchdowns scored other than him by Jalen Hurts. So again, if Jalen wasn't doing the goddamn push, and Saquon didn't have the number one opportunities of getting down to the one and then not getting the ball back, Saquon would be the number one running back easily. Even if you just take half of Jalen's 11 touchdowns that he has at the one, you would be over Henry. Easy. Third down and 1. Lamar, hands off. Henry stiff arms one and another. And if you had actually someone that could make a fucking tackle, that wouldn't have been a first down. But that's what we call fucking beast mode. Fucking electric. Derrick Henry has to be brought down with 3 players minimum. 1 ain't going to do it. 2 ain't going to do it. 2 at the same time. Look, get off me, little man. Get off me, little man. I'll stiff arm you, little bitch ass. You too. Nice try. And the Chargers got one of the best defenses in football. But Derrick Henry definitely looks like a man among boys. I've never seen a running back with this type of size towering over everyone on the defense, even linebackers. Rare. Rare air, my friends. Lamar with the keeper. And now you can kind of bleed the clock. The Chargers are getting tired. They can't tackle properly. But you got a shitty-ass wide receiver that can't catch the goddamn ball. J.K. Dobbins is out. Too much of adversity. It's going to take a miracle for the Chargers to be able to, force this to overtime and win. So, it is possible. But, they need a fumble or a turnover at, now. That they need to be able to get to Lamar and have him fuck up. They haven't been able to do it all day. Will they do it here in the fourth while tired? Probably not. Lamar? Again, anytime you have Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, any of the top guys, Burrow, and you have plenty of time to throw, you're cooked. You're done. You're not beating them. The only way you beat the elite quarterbacks, is if you get to them at least a few times in the game with pressures, sack lunches, making them feel uncomfortable, tipped passes, interceptions, fumbles. But if you just let them go back there and pretty much do whatever they want for a majority of the game, you are cooked. You're not going to beat them. Even with the Ravens' shitty defense, right? You went from number 1 defense to 23rd. Look at this. Where's this defense? Out of position. Touchdown, Ravens. The game's over. And just like that. When I start going off, it's close to being over, and there it is. I can tell momentum. I can feel it, and it's over. Like I said, if you can't get to Lamar, it's just a matter of time of Rashad Bateman, Justice Hill, Nelson fucking Aguilar, or anybody other than Lamar or Henry or Zay to make a play. Their defense is still shitty, but that offense, you don't get to Lamar, you have no chance of winning. That's the difference. When the Chiefs play him, Chris Jones gets to him, right? When the Steelers play, TJ Watt gets to him. But here, where's Joey Bosa? Where's Derwin James? Where are you? If you're on the same level as Chris Jones and TJ Watt, fucking show me. And obviously they're not. They're very, very good, but they're not TJ Watt. They are not Chris Jones. And, let's be real. Chris Jones might be, the best D tackle in the game. And TJ Watt, he might be the best defensive player in the game. Myles Garrett's great, right? Max Crosby's great, but again, I don't know how many people would be choosing other players over TJ Watt and what he does game in and game out. Crosby's great. We know Myles Garrett is great, but it's hard. You have to really look at the stats game in and game out to see, do they have better stats than TJ or not? And TJ's been in the running for being the best player in the league on defense, for a couple years now. We know JJ was the best guy for a few years, and now TJ, if he stays healthy for another 5 to 10 years and keeps getting these accolades and awards, he's going to be known as the better Watt brother. And one of them ended up being defensive player of the year, ended up being the best player in the game. And then you're going to have a brother be better than you? Unbelievable genes. We talk about Harbaugh and Harbaugh. Christ, Watt and Watt. Kick is up by Tucker. And it's good. 30-16, and the game is Over. Yes, sir. Happy early Thanksgiving. Well, I'm going to be working. My dad is under the weather, and stepmom as well. So obviously they don't want to take any chances with COVID or flu, or it seems like there's a lot of stuff going around. Like my best friend, one of my best friends, Joey and Jamie, their son Augie, they went to the hospital last night, and Augie is pretty young. He doesn't have COVID, thank God, but it feels like there definitely is some kind of strain that is non-COVID but flu-related that's going around, and I don't want to get it. And I want to celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, but I have a couple alternatives, that I might be able to do. So I'm still going to try to shoot for one of my friends dropping me off a plate, but it just depends if they're going to be in the area. But I'll probably, 9:30 a.m. to do a stream is early. But since the Lions are playing and, Caleb is out there, obviously we know the Lions are going to beat the shit out of the Bears, right? The Lions are not losing on fucking Thanksgiving. They are going to beat the shit out of the Bears. But we might be able to see a little bit of, splash out of Caleb. Like maybe he scores a touchdown or two, even though they'll probably lose by 20, like 34-13 or something. But maybe we see something out of Caleb, for the national scene, like the global scene, right? Cowboys and Giants, unwatchable. That's when you actually hang out with friends and just fucking eat, right? Maybe even watch a fucking, maybe even watch like a holiday movie with family over Cowboys and Giants. I mean, I know that's still going to be on the background for a lot of our TVs, but Jesus Christ, what a terrible matchup. And then you get the best matchup of the night with the Dolphins and the Packers. Don't really give a shit about either one. The Packers are the better team, but I definitely would be rooting for Miami in that particular matchup. Packers are probably the third best team in the NFC, behind the Eagles and Lions as number one. But there's still a lot of inconsistencies in Green Bay, but it's probably fair to say, if Green Bay played anybody other than the Lions or the Eagles, they probably would beat or have a very good chance to beat anybody else. Minnesota, Washington, Tampa or Atlanta, Seattle or whoever, it'd probably be tough, if they're playing up to their, normal Green Bay level. But obviously, if Green Bay doesn't play like the normal Green Bay, of course, Atlanta, Tampa, Minnesota, Seattle, we could beat them, Oh, baby, oh. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Good return there by the Chargers. I want to see family. I want to, be able to have that bonding time. Family and food. The friends and the football are great too. I don't have that many options. I mean, it would be awesome if I could just end up finding a place that will deliver kind of like an Uber Eats, thing on Thanksgiving, just like a meal for one person, with a little side of pie, included as well. Like give me all my fixins, but just enough for one plate or maybe two, like a backup. And, even if I had to pay like 30 or 40 bucks, I wouldn't care. Obviously getting it for free would be ideal, but that's only if I can get someone to do me a solid. Glad McConkey with the catch, but there's a flag on the play. Again, the J.K. Dobbins injury, not going to Gus the Bus. And once you start going away from your game plan, you lose, right? And then the defense is getting tired. You're not getting to Lamar. And again, your defense has been very, very good. This was the game that you guys, showed that you're not on the Chief, or Steeler level in this game. Maybe against other opponents you have been, but we haven't seen picks. We haven't seen sacks. We haven't seen fumbles. And let's be honest, we haven't seen Lamar uncomfortable all game. You have to make an elite quarterback uncomfortable. And if you don't, and they just have all day back there, you are cooked. But the Chargers and the Broncos look like playoff teams, like wild card. Like when they'll probably make the playoffs, maybe lose in the first round or whatever, but, they could at least get there. PI on the D. Automatic first down. And then obviously the pecking order, would be Chiefs. And then I would probably go Buffalo, personally. Herbert going deep. Palmer's there. Good right receiver, but wrong throw. But I go Chiefs and then probably Bills. And then after that, it's a clusterfuck of like a bunch of other teams that could do something. Chargers, Texans, Steelers, Broncos, and a few of the others. But it's like they don't have the same kind of feel. And Buffalo doesn't really have a good defense either. It's like they got to outscore their opponent like Lamar. But if they do, you can see even against a tough defense, it is possible. Like the Ravens with a shitty D, number 1 last year, 23rd this year, sometimes looking like fucking last. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Not for sacrilege. Yum, 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 yum. Where was that for the Charger team? Flag on the play. But it shows you that you can have kind of a shitty defense like, the Buffalo Bills at times and the Ravens. But if you got Lamar or Josh Allen, anything is fucking possible. Even against an elite defense, they can get tired. Best Super Bowl matchup, Lions, Buffalo Bills. That's the best matchup. Second best matchup, Lions, Chiefs. Third best matchup, Eagles, Chiefs, and then Eagles, Bills. Those would be the best. I mean, unless your team isn't one of those teams and you want to get there, right? But just as far as non-biased opinion, going deep, got a man, overthrown, incomplete, flag on the play. Even if they didn't think it was PI, they're going to give it to them because they want this game to be closer. There's money on the line, point spread, right? Over, under. They need this game to be within a touchdown, not a 2-touchdown victory. But again, we've seen all of the teams in the AFC look good and look like shit. Oh, they picked it up. Wow. You figure that they would just give it to them just so that way they can get into range to be able to get the touchdown. And normally in that situation, I mean, that's a flag. What do they mean that's not a flag? He's grabbing him, right? He's holding him. Flag, felony, assault 4. I mean, yes, it was over his head, and they want to say uncatchable, but the flag was, the penalty was committed. Come on, ref. It's like throwing the flag and then picking it up. It's just like not even throwing the flag when you look at the fucking penalty directly. Come on. Do it right or don't do it at all. I mean, why do we even have refs out there? I mean, it's not like the Chargers were going to win this game anyways, because even if they score a touchdown there and make it 30-23, the Ravens are going to score again. They're not going to be stopped at 30. They're going to be at 33 or they're going to be at 37 when this game is over. More than likely, unless we just so happen to get that Charger turnover a little too late, but I don't know if there's any indication that we're going to get a pick six or a fumble or even a turnover from that side of the ball. They're tired. They're defeated. They haven't been able to get to Lamar. And again, even with the shit defense, you can still win games and outscore against the opponent. And that's what Baltimore and Buffalo typically do. They can't rely on their defense, so they just need Lamar and Josh Allen to be fucking amazing. And more times than not, guess what? They are. He's like, why did J.K. Dobbins have to go injured? Now my brother's going to get all the glory. Damn it. But you had a good year this year, so you're not going to win them all. And who knows? You might match up against each other in the playoffs. Not only this year, but in the future. But too much of this, and you don't get to them, you are cooked. You're cooked with the legs, you're cooked with the arm, done. And then you got to worry about this too. Lions, Chiefs. Lions, Bills. Eagles, Bills. And then Eagles Chiefs. Like Eagles Chiefs would be like number 4 for me. And then probably Eagles Bills 3rd. Chiefs Lions 2. And then unless you're a Chief fan, right? And then Lions Bills would be 1. Because that would mean that Josh Allen finally took that step and he's not little brother anymore. And they did beat him in the regular season. And you got to think at some point, Josh Allen is going to beat Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to just lose to him his whole career. You know, at some point it's going to happen. You know, but Allen and James Cook have to have great games, and they never have had a good running back before. So maybe that'll be the reason why that they do it this year. Kind of makes sense, right? Can't trust the defense, so I just got to ball out, and hopefully my running back does too. But, I mean, obviously the Chiefs would be a top 2 option because you want to see if they can make history. Any team that can go back-to-back or 3-peat is a big deal. You know, but Lions and them would be sweet. Lions Bills would have the whole country split in half. Half would be like Detroit, Eminem, yes, right? They almost made it last year. They're deserving. Sonic and Knuckles. And then you got the other half of the country be like, ooh, Josh Allen finally beat Pat. Can he go all the way? You know? And you would think the Bills would be an underdog in the Super Bowl. The Lions would be the favored team if it was Lions Bills. So a lot to think about. Handoff. Henry just a yard short of the marker, 30-16, Ravens. You think the Giants are going to beat the Cowboys after the Cowboys just beat the Commandos? They're going to be on a cloud, like, you know, cloud 9. And Dolphins have a chance against the Packers. It all depends on what Tua we get. If we get the good Tua, it could go down to the wire, or they could end up blowing out the Packers, you know. But if we get the bad Tua, you know, then it could get ugly. But I mean, you know, Waddle, Tyreek, Achane, Tua. If Tua goes for 3 touchdowns and no picks, you know, there's a good chance that they'll have a shot. Just don't know if you're going to be able to do that kind of stat line against that stingy Packer D. Oh, top 3, scoring, offense, yards per rush, yards per attempt, red zone, explosive plays, 3rd down, defense, shitty. But again, if you can outscore your opponent. But again, we haven't really seen a team that doesn't have a defense win it all. So if you're the Bills, can you even win it all? If you're Lamar and the Ravens, can you win it all? Because again, when we get to the playoffs, AFC, NFC championship game, and Super Bowl, things are really tight. It's not like the same as like a regular season game. And I'm trying to remember the last time that we've seen a team with no defense win a Super Bowl. I can't even think of the last time that we've had a team like that. Henry again. I mean, normally you got to have a top 10 defense to win. Offense might be number 1, but the defense typically is still pretty good too. Yeah, but again, if you notice, as soon as J.K. Dobbins went out of the game, they lost because they started not to go to Gus the Bus in the same kind of way, right? And they just threw the ball the whole time. That was gonna, you know, help the fucking Ravens because they're terrible at defense. And if you make it easy for them, knowing that every fucking play is gonna be a throw. I mean, even a shitty defensive coordinator can figure it out from time to time, even if you don't have the same kind of personnel. So the game was already over when they started to be one-sided. You have to keep the defense honest. And if you don't, you know, keep it 50-50 with the running and the throwing, you're fucked, man. And again, good coaches find a way to figure shit out. That was the difference. You won the first quarter, you know, and again, you had to be able to get Ladd McConkey and the others in a rhythm. And you don't have a good enough receiver and tight end core, right? The receivers and the tight ends are not good enough, you know, for this team to be able to go deep. You know, they're good enough maybe to make the playoffs, but again, they're very raw. I mean, your best receiver is fucking a rookie, Ladd McConkey. You know, like they need more. Ladd McConkey needs to be like the 2nd or the 3rd best receiver, and then you need that like A.J. Brown for Herbert. You know, he needs that type of guy too. A route runner, right? Vlad McConkey, Palmer, another, outside receiver, and then the best guy like the Jetta, the AJ Brown, the DK. They're going to need that big body guy that actually can catch the football, not Johnston. They need that Jamar Chase, Hell, even a T. Higgins would be a huge upgrade. T. Higgins on one side, Vlad McConkey on the other, or in the slot. And then he improved the other receiver position too. So then Palmer turns into the 4. And then you get another guy that's even, better than McConkey. And McConkey ends up being 3rd. And now if that happens, or they get another beast tight end in the draft or free agency, then you know that they're going to be cooking. The running backs will be good. They'll have depth there, 2 or 3. They'll have a good, tight end, hopefully like an Antonio Gates type. And then you improve the receivers. And obviously you got to keep plugging away on that O-line too. 30-16 Ravens. A very uncharacteristic defensive performance by LA at home. But again, Lamar is Lamar, right? And again, he's like one of those guys. I mean, as long as they're not playing the Chiefs or the Steelers, seems like he beats everybody. But if it's Chiefs or Steelers, fucking problems. But other than those two, he dominates everybody else. Justice Hill with the short gain on 3rd and 13. That Mark Andrews, that was huge. God, Derrick Henry is so big. It's like a senior going against a bunch of freshmen. It's like not even fair. Fourth and 15. I don't even know why they're punting. Might as well go for it. I mean, you're already playing NFL blitz as it is. It's not like if you didn't get it that you would lose this game, even with 3 minutes left. All right. All right, Chargers, for pride, can we get in the end zone one more time and lose by 7? What do you say? One more tutty. Vlad McConkey is due. Or Palmer. What do you got cooking, my guy? Get something going. At least a field goal, but touchdown would be nice. I mean, God, they got a shit defense. I mean, you should be able to rip into them. The offensive line for the Chargers has not played well today. Gained a sub. 26 to go to 20,700. Let's go. 326 to 21,000, baby. Yeah, but at least they're not showing her on TV as much as they did last year. You know, they capitalized off her tour, and with all those eyes being on her and obviously her tour, you know, to collab that with all of the NFL fans that are male and female, you know, it was like a perfect storm for both of them to gain a lot of followers. And that's exactly what they did. So but at least they're not pushing it, you know, like that this year. It's not the same anymore. You know, before it was like every game, and you know, even when the Chiefs aren't playing, you know, and then you're seeing footage here, footage there. I mean, and they even used her as the banner. Like you know, if you're gonna actually use an artist on your banner on your websites and stuff, then that's like taking it to a whole nother like kiss ass level. You know, of trying to be able to, you know, make the most money and brand together. But at least it's not like that anymore. All right, Chargers, show me, bye-bye. Herbert. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch? Yum, 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 yum. Offensive line lost this game for the Chargers. Plain and simple. Flag on the play. Offsides, defense. Justin Herbert's mental health is not good today. He's like, why is my offensive line not blocking? But it happens. (30-14) Ravens, 7-4 Baltimore, 7-3 Los Angeles. First down and 5. Herbert. Oh, look. Johnson, nice. Good catch there. Oh, he didn't catch it. Of course he didn't. Herbert. I mean, I don't go off that often, right? But after you realize what I'm saying, you know, and like I said, done, right? And so, oh, he's overreacting. He's actually not that bad of a receiver. But how many times has this guy dropped the goddamn ball? Over and over. They even got the Asian lady that went viral last year saying, man, this guy, he ain't it. 4 targets, no receptions. You're terrible. Why are you throwing to him? Shep in the building. What's good? Third down and 5, Herbert. And there's nowhere to go. Offensive line, again, like I said, has lost them the game. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. 2 different types of games that you're going to get. You're going to get a game where you have a defensive battle, you know, or you're going to have a game where you have an elite quarterback, a shitty defense, and you just outscored the opponent. And that's exactly what we got here today. Fourth down and 9. Got to go for it now. Shotgun set. Fourth down and 9. Herbert. Floater. Ladd McConkey. Hello. Ladd McConkey catches everything. So why don't you throw to him? Like Julian Edelman. Use your piece. Don't be dumb. It's like, fuck, I'd rather throw to Ladd McConkey triple team than throw to fucking Quentin. Quentin could be wide open by himself, and I still wouldn't throw it to him. Yes. And the sad thing is that even if he was wide open, he probably would drop it. Like, that's how shitty he is. Shitty! We'll see if we get a tutty here before the end of the game. They're improved, but again, if you want to, you know, be up there with the big boys, like the top 3 or 4 teams in the AFC, you know, you have room to grow. You got, you know, obviously the right coach in place now. Now you need better weapons for Herbert to excel. Don't ruin my guys' prime years, which were getting ruined by Lynn and Staley. So thank God for Harbaugh. I mean, Herbert could end up being a bust, or, you know, or maybe not a bust, but just like an average player. You know, he could have went to that level and been like in the middle of the pack, you know, like 16th best quarterback type shit. But he's too talented for that. And he's got top 10 talent. And if you get the right coaching and supporting cast, he could be a top 5 quarterback. And he could be as good at one point before his career is up. He could end up being a top 3 quarterback. Not saying that he'd be number 1, but it's possible. You know, that if everything was built the right way, he could have like 1 year where he could be like, oh, this guy could maybe be MVP of the NFL, you know. But it's not going to be like he'll be able to do that every year. But, you know, if he plays another 10 years, and he's got Harbaugh the whole way through, you know, who knows? Maybe they make it to a Super Bowl or an AFC championship game. You would think so. I mean, Harbaugh's got a good track record. $50, 50 to go. Smash that like button for your boy. All right, so Herbert to Ladd McConkey, Herbert to Palmer, Herbert to Disley, anybody but Johnson. Shotgun set. Herbert. Humphrey with good defense there. Pass incomplete. Yeah, Marlin was right there. That was a tough throw to be able to make in that window. And it shows you like how good of the arm strength and accuracy that could have been caught. Like, look at where that ball is placed. Oh, like even with the tip by the defender, he got both hands and gloves on it, even though it was deflected slightly in the air there. 2nd and 10. Audible at the line by Herbert. Man in motion. Set. Shotgun set. Herbert. Shitty protection on the offensive line and another flag. This is coming back. Offensive line for the Chargers stinks in this game. Yeah, Alt was all over him. That was an easy call. Even a blind person could have saw that one. Joe's been a good draft pick for them, but this is a huge hold if I've ever seen one. You needed to go left, not right, and that was the whole, extra hold there. If Herbert would have went left immediately, then maybe he would have got away with it and let go. But when you're going right, and then the player is going right, the refs are looking all at, that big clump of players right there. You can't get away with that. 2nd and 20. Go to Ladd, baby. Ladd or Palmer. Shotgun set, 2nd down and 20. Herbert. Disley, that's a good option. Johnson's the best. Promote him to wide receiver 1. Best wide receiver in the league. It's going to be hard for him to find a goddamn job. May not have a job after his rookie contract is up. I mean, I don't know who would offer him one. 3rd and 11. But he is also good enough to make a big touchdown, too. That'd be really ironic if he's the one that scores the touchdown for them, right? It's always the unexpected. Like, this guy sucks, this guy sucks, this guy sucks, right? 4 targets, no catches, 4 drops, and then Herbert just goes deep 50 yards and he actually catches it. Like, one-handed, blindfolded. I told you that. Stats back it up as well. Even though I know you wanted it to be Pittman, but Pittman ain't it. He ain't the one. A little bit too injury prone and doesn't have that, give you those, bigger numbers, better hands, better catches, and usually the catches turn into touchdowns for him. Downs. So. Third down and 11. Shotgun set. Herbert. Quick throw. I don't know what that is. Okay, it's 3rd down and 11. Why would you throw a 5-yard slant? I mean, at least McConkey would catch it, but. All right, how many likes are we away? Like a couple? A couple away from 20. You haven't smashed that like button yet? Please do. Help your boy out. We need just a couple more. Fourth down and 6. Chilling is good. Peace of mind is good. Food in football is good. Thanksgiving is good. Herbert. Flag on the play. First down. Chargers. Minute 25 left. If his hands weren't grabbed there, he would have made that catch. First down and 10. Shotgun set. Got to get a touchdown for Pride. Go, Herbert, go. Go, Herbert, go. Hell, even if Herbert has to get it with his legs, fuck it. As long as you're getting in to make it 30-23. Even though that we know that this game has been like a 2-touchdown win type of thing, but garbage time is garbage time. And a lot of times games that should have been, by 2 touchdowns only end up being, by 1, but it should have been 2. Palmer. Pass incomplete. Got to have a little bit more touch, J-Herb. I'm good, brother. Good to see you. .102 left, 30-16. Chargers won the first quarter. Herbert got in with a rushing touchdown, but then the offensive line just went to all hell. Defense did not do well, even though they're highly ranked, and the Ravens are not. And, again, sometimes that's the formula when you have Derrick Henry and Lamar. They just end up, just showcasing their beast mode talents. And that's what you get from the Bills when they end up doing something special with Josh Allen and James Cook. They're not going to win every game, but if those two guys go off in the same game, hard to beat them. Same thing with like Lamar and Henry. If they both go off, hard to beat them. Unless you're the Chiefs or the Steelers. That's the bugaboo for the Ravens and Lamar. Third down and 10. Herbert, go to McConkey. Palmer again. Flag. They're like, okay, we need to get someone that got him score if we got to help you out here. So have Herbert just run it in for a touchdown. They're like, we need to get them some points. Let's get some points here. All right, they're about to score. So you can either do a QB sneak with Herbert. You can hand it off to Gus the Bus. I'm not really sure if you want to throw a 1-yard slant with a chance of it getting tipped for an interception. So we'll see what they decide to do here. Herbert, hands off. Touchdown, Chargers. Gus the Bus. Tutty. Dicka the Kicka for the extra point. Weird to see like how so many players that used to be on the Ravens and coaches that are on the Los Angeles side. But hey, brothers will be brothers, right? Hey, you need a player? Here, I got one for you, man. Send them my way. All right. Harbaugh Bowl. Extra point is up and good, but flag on the play. It's a flag party. Delay a game, Chargers. It's crazy, like end of the game heroics get ruined by kickers not being able to make an extra point, like Washington against Dallas, or kickers that normally are money, like Tucker, that are having a hard time. Like Tucker is normally number 1 or number 2. He's like up to like a week or 2 ago, he was bottom 3. Like, what world are we living in? Dicka, the Kicka. Kick is up, right down the middle. Fucking good. Hold up. All right, now they're going to go for an onside down by 7. Well, remember at the beginning of the broadcast, we were kind of hoping for a 27-24, 24-20, 26-23 type of game. And it ended up not being as close as we wanted, like whoever had the ball last type of thing. Obviously the score says the Ravens are up by 7, but we all know that, they definitely won this game by 2 possessions. Easy. All right, let's see what the onside kick looks like. Onside, rolling, and pinned on the ground. Ravens recovered, even though that went like 8 yards. Isaiah Likely. No timeouts left, so this one's over. But on the scoreboard, at the end, it's like, oh, damn, Chargers only lost by 7. But if you watch this game, it was like, damn, the Ravens blew them the fuck out. Like, in actuality, it feels like the Ravens won by 14-17, But that's how it goes in garbage time sometimes. And that's game. Let's wait for this kneel down. And there it is. Kneel down secured. Final score, Ravens 30, Chargers 23. I appreciate every single one of y'all that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. If you're in the room now and haven't done it yet, please do it on your way out. I'm going to go eat a little bit of dinner, take Paisley on a long walk. Hopefully we don't get rained on. We'll probably take Tuesday and Wednesday off. And then I'll be back on Thanksgiving on Thursday since I won't be able to celebrate with family. So we will, be doing Packers and Dolphins at 5 for sure. But I might end up doing that early morning broadcast. I know a lot of y'all will be hanging out with family and doing other things. But if you want to hang out with me, I will be available for 1 or 2 streams on Thanksgiving. Friday, we will do Chiefs and Raiders. Saturday, Ducks and Huskies. And then obviously on Sunday, we're going to be doing Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, which will entail this weekend will actually be on Sunday stream. Niners and Bills, Josh Allen, yes, please. And then Monday, Browns, Broncos, Bo Nix, yes, please. So that will be the schedule. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everyone in the room for the support. Finley, Sarah, Megan, Shep, everybody, love you. Thank you for the help, Sarah. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? The boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you then, and I'm out. Okay.